Yo, what's up guys? This is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty. Become a member of the channel to access more content. The link is in the description. 4 Stone Chapter 112. Tartaros Attacks, Liberation End. Back to the cenotaph. Wu Ming and Mavis discussed while watching the battle. Not long after, the successful promotion spots were announced. Natsu and Happy fought against Gear Das. Of course they were no match for each other in a real fight. But Gear Das was sensible after all, after a casual trial. Natsu successfully advanced to the second stage, and he himself returned to the camp first. At the same time, Mirajane's opponents Elfman and Alba Green, the latter two used a marriage scheme. Successfully deceived the former. Became a lucky passer, although he looked scarred, but not dangerous. Then there were Juvia and Lasana. They were fighting against Mistogan, and they also let him go in the battle. Cleared again. Laxus, he beat Gajeel like a Thunder King. And Gajeel was covered with scars. Although it was just an assessment, Laxus's attack was quite heavy. And they were only targeting Gajeel. If anyone was really fighting, it must be the two of them. They beat him hard for a long time. They stopped their actions only after they were sure that Gajeel really had no strength left. I'm sorry, you didn't pass. Before leaving, Laxus said this, he really wouldn't let up easily in a fight. Became the first S-class to snipe the examinee. On the other side, Lucy and Kana fought against the Thunder Gods. As always, they were defeated by the Beauty Trap and easily got the chance to pass. A one-sided victory. There were also Suzaku and Mest. The former used extraordinary swordsmanship to fight against the Fast. The latter moved instantly and disappeared without a trace. Although Loki and Gray used all their strength, they still couldn't beat the two. What an extraordinary strength! Gray tore his tattered clothes. His clothes were ruthlessly harvested, and in the end, only tattered rags were left. If it was a blade, Gray had been torn into pieces long ago, so he accepted his defeat with all his heart. Advertisement. Let's go. It's rare to come to Tenro Island. Let's just take a look around and then follow everyone back. Loki sighed leisurely. It's a pity that he didn't advance. He was particularly depressed about the strength of his opponent. So strong. The meeting place for those who passed the level. Several pairs of members had been waiting for a long time until Makarov came. Everyone realized that the first stage was over. Are you kidding? Gray didn't pass the level. Which S level did they meet? Natsu glanced at the qualifiers. Seeing that Gray was not there, he was also quite surprised, and hurriedly scanned everyone to ask. Unfortunately, they met me. Suzaku took the initiative to admit it. The groups were speechless. It's more terrible to meet Suzaku than to meet an S-class person. What about Levi? Lucy couldn't help but mutter. She still wanted Levi to advance, but she hadn't seen him until now. She couldn't help but think in her heart. Gajeel and Levi met Laxus, and they settled all the old and new grudges. They didn't know how to let him go. Makarov cursed. He was originally very happy that his grandson was sensible, but he was so cruel in such an important occasion. A moment of silence for Gajeel. The groups could imagine that situation. After all, the other party was Laxus. The possibility of letting him go was very small. Okay, let's announce the content of the second stage of the assessment. This Tenro Island is the cenotaph of the first generation Mavis. The person who finds the cenotaph will advance, and I will wait for you at the mission location. After arranging the tasks, Makarov turned around and left here, leaving the next battlefield to these children. Shuttle all the way. Makarov came to the grave of the first generation Mavis, and he was suddenly stunned. In front of the cenotaph, the first generation Mavis was lying on a shaking bamboo lounge chair. There was a table next to it. There were a lot of fruits that looked particularly sour on it. As the lounge chair swayed, Mavis squinted her eyes and enjoyed the sunshine. On the other side, Wu Ming was lying on a lounge chair, and there were several curtains in the air in front of him, on which were several groups of people from the yin level. Tenro Island is the holy land of the Fairy Tale Guild. It's not good for Mr. Wu Ming to trespass without permission. Makarov said this casually. Facing such a superclass existence, he clearly knew that the so-called Holy Land was not enough to convince the public. Don't be like that, third generation. To be honest, Wu Ming and Irene had already settled on this island before the Fairy Tale Guild was founded. If you walk further in, you might be able to find the house we live in, although it hasn't been cleaned for a while. Mavis waved her hand. The Holy Land is not that serious, and there is nothing worth paying attention to. Ah, Makarov sighed. Then how did Mr. Wu Ming have time to come here? This time can't be a coincidence, right? It just happened to be the S-class wizard upgrade exam. Appeared at this time. Makarov really doesn't believe in coincidences. For example, the time when Suzaku joined the guild was also quite coincidental. Think about it carefully. If Suzaku's goal is also Tenro Island, then there is a way. Advertisement. He found that his brain was becoming more and more sharp. Analyzed so many things in a short time. In the demon cult, Tartaros has a president named End. But this president is still in a deep sleep. To wake up the president, the gate of Tartaros has been opened, and they will soon arrive at Tinlong Island to wake up the sleeping End. Wu Ming turned off the screens. Tell him the truth about the demon cult, and finally look at him with calm eyes. You mean, End is on this island? If so, then the upgrade exam can only be suspended. Makarov certainly knows Tartaros. If those people come here, the children in the guild will definitely be in danger. Especially that end. Natsu's end, the flame demon. Shock. Wu Ming's words immediately made Makarov's whole brain tremble. The skin kept shaking. It seemed that he couldn't believe this fact. First generation. Mr. Wu Ming, you two must be here to save our guild, right? Makarov raised 100% vigilance. If this is true, then running away is meaningless. Tartaros will definitely chase after him. It's a pity. This is your guild's business. I don't want to intervene and there's no need to do this. Wu Ming cut off his thoughts. The real truth cannot be said yet. Wait until Acnologia comes to tell. Run first. I can only leave first. Makarov's face was solemn. His brain was spinning rapidly if the first generation and Wu Ming didn't help. Leaving here first is the best choice. Just as he made a plan, the top of his head was shrouded by a black shadow. He looked up. He saw a square object floating above his head. What is this? Makarov stared and looked up at the sky. The black shadow was particularly large. He had never heard of anything that could make such a big guy float. Tartaro's base. Wu Ming yawned. Tartaro's travel tool is awesome, so beautiful that he wants to grab it as a mount. Chapter 113. Mavis vs. Prosciutto, the law of the fairies. The light that breaks through the clouds. Base. Makarov's face changed in shock. He didn't expect Tartaros to attack in this way. There's no need to run now. Whoosh, just at this moment. A red flare rose from Tinlong Island, shocking Makarov again. Sure enough, the children have seen it. Fight. There is hope only if we fight. He decided to save the children immediately. Friendly reminder. Seeing him leaving, Wu Ming smiled. This flare doesn't point to Tartaros. Wu Ming smiled. What? Makarov's body froze. His heart was about to explode, and his eyes were filled with fear. If the flare didn't point to Tartaros in the sky, then didn't it mean that we encountered other enemies? The people with the devil's heart have landed on the island. Despair. Wu Ming's words immediately hit Makarov so hard that he couldn't stand steadily. His body was shaky, his face turned pale and weak, and he seemed to have aged by a dozen years. Demon Heart. Tartaros. Two dark guilds actually attacked Tinlong Island at the same time. They are going to kill them. How can they win? Even if he risked his life, he couldn't win. Give it a try. When you are about to die, I will open the fairy ball to save you. The first generation Mavis waved her hand. This also directly shows that she will not help to deal with foreign enemies. But she will save people. I hope that the first generation and Mr. Wu Ming can help. After all, the other party is the two strongest forces, Makarov said. Looking at the two with expectation. He really wants these two to agree. After all, the enemy is too strong. It will move the fetus. Mavis shook her head decisively. She is a fragile pregnant woman. So that's it. If it moves. Advertisement. Makarov nodded. Before he finished speaking, he was stunned and blinked his eyes to think about what he just heard. Fetus? He was sure he heard it right. He looked at the belly of the first generation Mavis, as if he wanted to see something. It's only been a month, I can't tell. Mavis smiled like a mother. Hiss. Makarov took a breath and digested the life-changing words he heard. First generation, take care of yourself. You can come to the Fairy Tale Guild after the baby is born. I believe that Lizen and the others will take good care of the baby. He bowed respectfully. The depression that Wu Ming didn't intend to help before also disappeared at this moment. To protect the first generation, it's best not to do it. Okay. Mavis agreed with a radiant face. The latter's old face also wrinkled together when the first generation's child was born. He must prepare a good gift. Leave. At the same time, Wu Ming also checked the situation on all sides and prepared to find a good opportunity to send Mavis to see Prosciutto. On Tinlong Island, all members encountered enemies. You must be kidding. My flame was eaten. Natsu and Happy met their opponents. The guy named Zancro used black flames. The flames gave him an extremely ominous feeling. Dragon flames cannot defeat god flames. I am a god-killing wizard. Boom boom boom. Zancro threw out black flames crazily. He threw them out in balls, and they exploded when they hit the ground. And they kept burning like they were corroding bones. What god? Natsu cursed. He also wanted to eat these flames, but every time he had this thought, he felt something was wrong. His intuition told him that there was something wrong with these flames. At the same time, Mistogan, as an S-class wizard, also met his opponent. Or he met himself. Opposite, stood an identical person, who was his opponent this time. Advertisement, Jelal. The president of the Dark Six, I didn't expect you to join the Devil's Heart. Mistogan held the magic wand. He covered his face, leaving only a pair of eyes exposed. Mistogan. Jelal from the world of S-Death, I didn't expect to be your opponent this time. Jelal laughed contemptuously. He knew this person very well, and he was stronger in terms of strength. Stop talking nonsense. Mistogan threw out the magic wand and used a unique attack method. The two Jelals quickly fought, at other locations. Everyone encountered corresponding opponents, and Makarov went directly to the coast. The giant body stared at the young airship. It's been a long time since we last met, Makarov. In the airship, Prosciutto came out and stared at the giant in front of him and greeted him. You, Prosciutto. Makarov's breathing stagnated. After giving the president to him, he disappeared. I didn't expect to meet here this time, and it was a hostile force, which made Makarov angry. I have given up that name. Now I am close to the abyss of the magic path, named Hades. Prosciutto reintroduced. After he left the guild, he met Acnologia by chance. That huge dragon body, the ultimate magic, deeply attracted him. After working hard for these years, finally reached the edge of the abyss of the magic path. If you go further, you will step into the real magic path. Before that, he needs to abandon everything. Name, life experience, past, all of this is to step into the real world. Prosciutto. Makarov was so angry that his teeth itched. Just when he didn't know what to do, a familiar voice sounded from the side. Looking to the side, the first generation Mavis and Mr. Wu Ming have come to the air. Mavis, you are not dead. When Prosciutto saw her, he exclaimed instantly. More than 100 years ago, the first generation Mavis suddenly left the guild and disappeared. He searched for a long time for this, finally found the clothes she wore. At that time, he thought Mavis was dead. Build a cenotaph on Tinlong Island. Today, I saw her again, and she seemed to be doing well. Mr. Wu Ming. Prosciutto looked at her side again, and she still looked the same as she did more than 100 years ago. These two people have not changed at all. I told you, the curse of contradiction caused me to become immortal. Mavis said. Prosciutto on the opposite side, he opened his mouth but couldn't say anything. In his research, the curse of contradiction should be particularly tormenting. But how could she? People will die. Prosciutto, your time has passed. Wu Ming waved his hand and said so. No, I have reached the abyss of the magic path and mastered the real magic. How can I die? Prosciutto was furious. As he said that, he released magic, ready to kill everyone at once. The law of the goblins. Mavis didn't waste any words. His hands were suspended in front of him. The golden light points gathered and finally formed a light ball with very rich energy. Buzz. Ma Jiao's. When the moment Mavis clapped her hands. The clouds over the entire Tenro Island were shattered, and the golden magic circle enveloped the island. The sacred magic full of light swept over, instantly. Everyone's eyes were filled with white light, and their ears were buzzing. When the eyes opened again, Makarov exhaled a breath of turbid air and swept across the figure of Prosciutto on the airship. There was some emotion in his heart, on the airship. Prosciutto's figure was like a withered tree, standing there with skin and bones. The third generation. Barry the second generation on Tenro Island, Haoya, he is also the second generation president of the Fairy Tale Guild. Looking at Prosciutto, who had no breath of life, Mavis was silent for 2 seconds. Then she lowered her head and gave a low voice, let's go. Mavis looked at Wu Ming. She was very sad to bury her former companions with her own hands. Dust to dust, ashes to ashes, Wu Ming murmured. He didn't expect Mavis to wipe out the opponent directly. Under her full power, she used the law of the fairy. Anyone with magic power lower than hers will be killed. Chapter 114. The Thunder Dragon Devourer appears. Acnologia's Wings of the End. Just as the members of the Fairy Tale Guild were fighting, the Tartaros in the sky also all fell from the sky and landed in different places on Tenro Island. Looking for the traces of end, according to Wu Ming's idea, with Tartaros and the people of Demon Heart. Fairy Tale will most likely lose miserably, but he never expected that. When the demons of Tartaros appeared on the battlefields, they did not join forces with others, but took the initiative to deal with the people of Demon Heart and Fairy Tale. They were arrogant and looked down on everything. They did not care about the organizations in the same demon cult at all, and they were so cruel. For example, Cain of Demon Heart. He was directly torn to pieces by the acting president of Tartaros, Hades Mardgeir. The people of Tartaros were enemies of everyone. When they started fighting, they killed whoever they could, and the fight was so fierce. This battle was extremely unbalanced. The 3 guilds of Tartaros, Demon Heart, and Fairy Tale fought on the island. Each side had amazing members. For example, Tartaros' Mardgeir is particularly powerful. Another example is Demon Heart's Jelal and Blue Note. There is also Fairy Tale's Gear Das, and the newly joined Suzaku. Each party has a strong presence. This also caused this chaotic battle to end faster than expected. Until the sunset appeared. Pluto Mardgeir, Blue Note, Jelal, Gear Das, Suzaku and Laxus met. There was no hesitation after meeting. The 3 parties directly fought. The whole Tinlong Island was constantly roaring, which was the aftermath of the 3-party battle. Their attacks were very fierce. I don't know how many flowers, plants and trees were uprooted, and the soil of that piece of land sank several meters. Blue Note and Jelal are going offline, deep in the island. There is a house here, where Wu Ming and Irene and others used to live. At this moment, Wu Ming and Mavis are temporarily living there. On the screen in the air, the final battle was broadcast, which was notorious from the beginning. Then he was beaten and retreated step by step. Blue Note and Jelal were the first to collapse, and were knocked back hundreds of meters one after the other. Lying on the ground unable to move, let's look at the battle situation. Tartaros' Hades was extremely powerful, and he could fight Girdas, Laxus and Suzaku alone. He caused terrible scars many times. Even though Laxus had a violent thunder attribute, he almost couldn't hold on. Advertisement however, Hades Mardgeir was only one person after all. When the night fell completely, He also slowly fought more and more conservatively, and he would really lose if he continued like this. Swish! Suddenly, lightning fell from the night sky. With a bang, it struck Girdas directly, and Girdas felt a sweetness in his throat instantly. Blood oozed from the corner of his mouth. Laxus, you little, CFFF. Girdas looked at him in disbelief. Did the lightning fall in the wrong place and strike him for no reason? It's not me. Laxus was also surprised. The thunder was exactly the same as his. He really doubted whether the thunder and lightning were out of control. It's Kirin. Suzaku said solemnly. This made Laxus and Girdas confused. Thunder Dragon Eater. Suzaku showed a serious expression appropriately. He held the knife with a vigilant look, as if he had encountered a big attack. You mean? Laxus felt bad. Each Dragon Eater is very strong. This guy with thunder is obviously an enemy, once he joins the battle. Then the balance of victory will tilt. Long time no see, Suzaku. Do you know the consequences of betraying the Diablo's Guild? Thunder flashed in the dark night. Kirin appeared in front of everyone, wearing a single eye. He carried a coffin on his back. Kirin, that kind of thunder. Laxus's pupils shrank, and he had the illusion of being called. It was as if something wanted to merge with him. Thunder Dragon King. Alexion, its dragon soul is sealed in my coffin. And the magic crystal in your body, is its? Qilin replied with a smile. I see. Laxus's eyes widened immediately, and it was understandable if he said that. It was the coffin that called him. Mard doesn't like others to interfere. Thorns. At this time, Mard Gear attacked Qilin. The thorny thorn flowers grew in the ground and bound Qilin's body. Qilin raised his hand and clenched his fist. The thorn flower was instantly shattered by lightning, and the so-called plant was restrained by him. Let's fight. If you can win, then I will give you the dragon soul of Thunder Dragon King. If you lose, then give up your soul. Qilin remembered the mission this time. The body turned into lightning and rushed towards Laxus. Humph! Laxus was disdainful. His body also turned into lightning, entangled with Qilin and flashed towards a farther place. Soon, thunder filled the sky. A new battle began. Wu Ming, who was secretly watching, immediately switched the screen after discovering the appearance of Qilin. Under the thunder and lightning, two dragon slayers of the same attribute were fighting. Just a few moves. Laxus was in a difficult battle. At this moment, his experience was very limited. It was difficult to deal with people in the 100 Years mission. Even when dealing with Hades' Mard Gear, if it weren't for Suzaku and Girdas to take care of him, 80% of them would have been seriously injured. Advertisement. There is no way. Laxus and Natsu, people like them, need time to practice. Let them deal with strong enemies now. It can be said that it is like a meat stick hitting a dog. There is no return. Here, although Laxus is missing, the combination of Girvos and Suzaku is still very strong. It didn't take long to defeat Mard. Similarly, after defeating Hades, Zoevos also rested directly on the ground. This Tinlong Island group, his magic power was really exhausted. He wanted to sleep until dawn, and Suzaku sat on the ground, holding his weapon, preparing to leave Tinlong Island after a while. In the air, Mard Gear returned to the underworld beast and soon arrived at the room where he often sat. As soon as he entered, he found that all the members of Tartaros were here, kneeling on one knee and bowing their heads. And on that seat, Zeref was holding a book and reading it, turning the pages one by one. I'm sorry. Mard failed to wake up and failed your expectations. Mard knelt down immediately. The person on that seat was the master who created their demon. Even he had to kneel on the ground. It doesn't matter. End can wake up anytime, but you are all miserable. Snap. After closing the book, Zeref glanced at the demons in front of him. 2 or 3 of them had just resurrected. The rest were not dead, but they were exhausted, including Hades Mard, and they were no longer useful. Go back. Your mission has ended, and your future will be transformed into words and stay in books. Think for 2 seconds. Zeref pointed his hand, and all the demons in front of him turned into book officials. Some of them can be given to Mirajane. Let her receive these souls. Beside, the space was splashed with waves. Wu Ming came to the underworld beast and arranged a plan for the Fairy Tale Guild to become stronger. Okay, then I'll leave first, teacher, Zeref agreed. Looking at the clouds, a tiny black dot appeared in the distant sky. That was the wings of the end. It's time to put an end to all this. Wu Ming chuckled. Acnologia is coming, and Tenro Island is about to be destroyed. Chapter 115. Acnologia's Roaring Technique, The Disappearing Tenro Island. The incident came to an end. Members who did not belong to the Fairy Tale Guild began to leave in an orderly manner. Including Kirin on the island. After receiving the order, he also prepared to retreat, holding the coffin chain and smashing it madly at Laxus. The latter had been severely ravaged. The high-spirited look was no longer there, and the coat had been torn to pieces in the fight. The earphones in his ears had long disappeared. The handsome face was stained with scarlet blood, and there were different wounds on his body. So weak, Kirin laughed at the miserable Laxus. He dragged the iron chain and smashed it. Then he directly loosened the iron chain. The dragon soul of the Thunder Dragon King is given to you. I will come to take your life in the future and eat your meat. After saying this, Kirin turned and left. His mission was completed. Here, Laxus pushed the coffin away painfully. Lying on the ground, he hated his lack of strength, he needed stronger strength. He must not be so miserable again. After a long rest, Laxus dragged the coffin back to the gathering point, where all the members were waiting. Except for Makarov, everyone was injured, which was enough to prove that the battle was very fierce. We are all alive. That's good. Makarov forced a smile. It was particularly miserable, but we are all alive, which is the best result. Tartaros and Demon Heart, being able to survive the siege of these two dark guilds is enough to prove that everyone is very strong. Gyarados also smiled bitterly. Strength. They're the first guild of Kingdom of Fury, and they have been defeated more and more in recent years. Maybe we should practice well. Someone couldn't help but say this. If we keep the current state, we will repeat the same mistakes in the future. It would be good to concentrate on practicing for a while. Russell everyone sat there dejectedly. The red sun on the sea level slowly rose, and the dawn of a new day was coming. Just then, there was a strange sound of wind in the air, and the sound seemed a little familiar. Russell. Soon. Natsu, Gajeel, Laxus, Gyardos's face changed. Their scalps were numb. The body trembled instinctively, and the strong sixth sense told them that something was approaching. Roar, almost in the blink of an eye, the dragon roar that shook the sky sounded. In the sky, a huge black shadow attacked. The pair of dark wings waved and set off a violent wind. Acnologia. Gyardos was horrified. His voice became extremely sharp, and the figure in the sky came into his eyes deeply. He would never forget the days when he was hunted. Black Dragon. The Dragon of the End, advertisement. Makarov's scalp was also numb. His voice also changed to other tones, and he had a deep memory of the famous Black Dragon in this area. Why did it appear here? Gyardos's face was solemn. The only thought in his mind was to run away quickly. Hey, do you know Igneal? Natsu had no idea of the danger of the other party, and put his hands to his mouth as a loudspeaker to shout. Shut up Natsu. Don't talk, Gyardos and Makarov said in unison. Other dragons are fine, but this black dragon is definitely a hostile creature, and speaking casually is simply courting death. Shaw. As expected. Acnologia roared, and dived down like a madman. Get down, Makarov was busy reminding everyone. Huh. Everyone didn't dare to delay any longer, and immediately lay on the ground and covered their heads. The wind was blowing hard. The clothes on everyone's body were rustling in the wind. Like Levi, Ponsalili and Happy, who were light in weight. They were directly blown into the sky by the wind. Happy, Lily, Gajeel and Natsu exclaimed, reached out to save their companions. Boom! Acnologia swooped over and landed on an abandoned building. He stared down at everyone from above. Run, Makarov exclaimed. His body became extremely huge, and in the blink of an eye he was as tall as Acnologia. I will never let you hurt my child, boom boom boom. Huge footsteps hit the ground. Makarov rushed towards Acnologia, trying to knock it down with its dragon head. Boom boom. Acnologia's dragon eyes flashed with sarcasm. He felt that this human was really courting death, and stepped out with his hind legs. Makarov was easily pushed back 100 meters. Damn it, let go of the old man. Natsu yelled. Advertisement escape? That's simply impossible. It's not like they haven't dealt with dragons before. Although they are not opponents, they are not so scared that they dare not go up. Calm down, Natsu. This dragon is many times more powerful than other dragons. Gyardos reminded. There is a difference between dragons. He knows that Acnologia is definitely the strongest among dragons. How can Natsu deal with it? There is no way to escape. Only fighting can give you a chance of survival. Asking for flowers 0. Gray took off his clothes. Boldly followed Natsu and rushed forward. Then, Laxus and the others rushed forward to save the old man. No matter what, why haven't you left yet? Makarov was wrestling with Acnologia, seeing everyone. His eyes were full of bloodshot, and he raised his voice to ask, Old man. You should rest honestly when you are old. There should be a limit to your stubbornness. Sizzle. Thunder and lightning. Laxus used dragon-killing magic to attack Acnologia. Don't worry, old man. Let us Dragon Slayer to deal with dragons. Whoosh. The flames attached to his fists. With the help of Happy, he came to Acnologia's back. Blazing fire attack. Others also used magic to help Makarov, even though their attacks were minimal. But they still attacked with all their might. Makarov's old eyes were filled with tears. Seeing the children fighting hard, he was moved to tears. At the same time, he prayed in his heart. I hope that Mavis and Mr. Wu Ming can come to help as soon as possible. Shaw. It seems that he is too annoyed by the harassment of the little bugs. Acnologia roared, and the strong storm overturned everyone. It flapped its wings and flew into the sky. The body stood upright. The dragon's body swelled up high, brewing a terrifying attack. It's a roar, Natsu exclaimed. Everyone felt sad, they didn't expect it to turn out like this. Acnologia's roaring skill. You don't even need to ask to know that if it really falls, it will probably destroy the entire Tenro Island. First generation. Why did you turn a blind eye? Makarov was sad. He didn't understand. Acnologia was clearly the enemy of all mankind. Why didn't they come out to help at this time? Let's hold hands and go home together, in despair. Makarov had tears in his eyes, and he stretched out his hand to look at everyone with a smile. Everyone probably knew that they were at the end of the road. He smiled reluctantly. Holding hands with each other, they welcomed the attack that was enough to destroy Tinlong Island in the most cheerful state. Boom! The dragon breath was strong. The roar of destruction hit Tinlong Island, and the waves splashed. Accompanied by the rising sun, Tinlong Island disappeared in this sea area. Sigh. Acnologia roared with a dragon, and then waved his wings and flew away from this world. Chapter 116. Production. Sun. Salute. It was all gray, the surroundings were all gray-brown. Is this death? Makarov's consciousness was floating, and he felt that he was in a light state. He forced his eyes open. Only then did he realize that Natsu and others were around. Some of them opened their eyes. Some were still asleep. They looked around, as if they were looking at the surrounding environment. Makarov looked. Only then did he realize that there was no landing point under their feet, but their bodies did not fall. As if they were supported by an unknown force, and all around. There were stars flashing, and they seemed to be no longer on the sea. Where is this place? Did Acnologia's breath kill us all? This is not Tenro Island, is it? Are you dead or alive? Questions loomed in everyone's mind. They were uneasy. The environment around 870 had never been seen before, and this space was empty and silent except for them. It wouldn't take long. Everyone had woken up. Just as they were discussing looking around, the space in front of them became distorted. Wu Ming and Mavis came to this space. Be thankful that you are all still alive, Wu Ming said. Makarov and others paused. Where is this? Has Acnologia's breath destroyed Tinlong Island? Makarov was uneasy. The unfamiliar environment made him and everyone else particularly afraid. I used the fairy ball, one of the 3 super magics, to protect you in Tinlong Island, Mavis said. So that's it. The mood of the people who survived the disaster suddenly became much better. Then where is this? Gear Das asked. Can we go back to the guild? Everyone wanted to know. Hearing this, Mavis' face was full of regret. It's a pity. When the fairy ball was used, it was disturbed by Acnologia's breath. It takes some time to unlock the seal. And this space is Wu Ming's way of protecting you. After all, that dragon is the strongest dragon. What if it accidentally hurts you? Mavis explained it according to the previous words. Everyone suddenly realized. I see, if it's just a little time, then we can wait. It's not a problem to not eat for a day or two. Makarov nodded in understanding. No matter what. At least they survived, it just takes a little more time. However, Wu Ming's mouth curled up with a playful smile. Your understanding of time is a bit wrong. Mavis said it takes some time, but... Wu Ming said. Hearing this, everyone suddenly felt something was wrong. Advertisement. They always felt that the next words would scare them. Shock, after Wu Ming said the last 2 words. Makarov and others were stunned. They never thought that it would take some time to refer to 7 years. Are you kidding me? You mean we have to stay here for 7 years? Let alone 7 years. We can't stand even 7 days. We are starving to death. It's better to die. There is nothing here. It's impossible to live that long. Everyone discussed it. 7 years. How can they survive such a long time, especially when they have no food at all? This space contains the most original magic power. You are reluctant to stay with me. Next, I will stop the growth of your body and exile you back to the Sealed Hands Tinlong Island. You need to live on Tinlong Island for 7 years. Said. Wu Ming took everyone back to Tinlong Island directly. Everyone looked dazed. After looking at the surrounding environment, he felt more relaxed. Tenro Island is rich in resources. You can live for 70 years, not to mention 7 years. Stop your body metabolism, that is, your body stops growing, but you need to survive 7 years. It just so happens that your strength is too weak, so practice well in the next 7 years, so as not to be wiped out next time you meet Acnologia. Wu Ming finally reminded everyone. I helped them so much in the hope that they can practice well. How strong will they be in 7 years? He is still looking forward to it. In addition, I remind you not to try to give birth to the next generation. During the time when you stop growing, something very dangerous will happen if you cross the line. I hope you practice every day instead of falling in love, otherwise, when you are in danger of your life, I, including all the members of Angel Wing, will not save you. Wu Ming said. After the matter was done, he took Mavis away without caring whether they listened or not. Only Makarov and others were left. Although we are trapped on Tenro Island, at least we are still alive. Makarov comforted everyone. He was a little confused. Since Wu Ming could take Mavis away from Tinlong Island, why couldn't he take them away? There can't be any restrictions, right? It just so happens that we can become stronger in these 7 years. This is also a unique opportunity to practice. Gear Das also said this, but abstinence for 7 years is really hard for him as an adult to accept. Then come on, I must defeat the guys with angel wings in 7 years. Advertisement. Natsu's fists collided. He started practicing without saying a word, and firmly decided to practice for 7 years. Everyone else took a deep breath. Under Makarov's arrangement, the next 7 years of training were formulated. For the training of the members of the Fairy Tale Guild, Wu Ming naturally had to observe from time to time. Until Mavis gave birth, the Kingdom of Esdeath has the most experienced midwives. In today is the 10th month of Mavis' pregnancy. Wu Ming's son was born. Wah! The baby's loud cry rang out. The chubby baby was born, and the whole kingdom was celebrating. Sometime after the birth, next to the stroller, several heads popped out and stared at the baby intently. His little face is so soft. Wendy stretched out her hand and gently pressed the baby's face. Merity nodded beside her. She was looking forward to the little guy's growth. Urza and Ultir were both here, and the sisters were naturally very happy. They wished they could stay with him 24 hours a day. On the other side, several elders sat together. Is it really okay not to use your last name? Celine asked. They were discussing the child's name 2.3. It doesn't sound good, does it? This world does not attach importance to last names, so Wu Ming did not force the child to use his last name. Urza just didn't use his last name. In addition, she and Irene both have beautiful red hair, so she added the last name, Scarlet. If you really want to use his last name, then it should be called Urza Wu, but this name is not good. Anyway, they are all his children, so the last name is simplified. August is not bad either. Mavis recovered quickly. Within 2 days, she was full of energy. When Wu Ming heard her name, he didn't force her to use his surname. She didn't say much. Just like that, the son's name was decided. Wu Ming smiled and looked over there. The reason for calling him this name was a tribute. A tribute to this anime, a tribute to him for coming to this world. Chapter 117. Going to the Great Demon Fighting Show to bully children? Year X 792, the lost Tenro Island suddenly appeared in the sea. The former companions returned. This news spread to the whole world, and everyone exclaimed and no longer discussed it. 7 years. The once strongest guild has fallen and become the weakest guild. Wu Ming, who was secretly spying, was very satisfied. After 7 years of training, the members of the Fairy Tail Guild have increased their strength several times. Like Levi, his strength is close to Saint Ten. Mirajane and Mistogan have even reached the level of the Ace of the 12 Shields. And several Dragon Slayers, dragon level. According to Wu Ming's observation, Gajil's strength can deal with dragons one-on-one. If he encounters a dragon with restrained attributes, it is possible that both sides will suffer losses, although Gajil's injuries will be more serious. What made Wu Ming happy the most were Laxus and Natsu. The dragons of these two were both dragon kings, after opening the dragon power. In the case of exchanging injuries, even a person like Farron can no longer underestimate the other party. As for Girdas and Makarov, due to their age, their strength has improved but not as much as the younger generation. Of course, if they fight internally, 25 Natsu will still not be Mirajane's opponent. After all, it is impossible to open the dragon power internally. 7 years. Wu Ming was very happy. It was worth his good intentions. 7 years of training is really ridiculous. Compared to 7 years ago, if they fight, Farron, Uru, Merity can no longer easily defeat Natsu and Laxus. Not only do they have to work hard, but they also have to be injured. Of course, 7 years later, Urza and others still have an 80% chance of winning. After all, it is not only Natsu and his friends who practice. Father, Uncle Zeref is here to see you, just when I was happy. A 6-year-old boy rushed in from outside the door. He has black hair and black pupils. That face is 70% similar to Wu Ming. August, have you finished today's training mission? Wu Ming asked. Children are spoiled. Wu Ming can spoil Urza and other girls, but he has very high requirements for August, a boy. The hellish training started when he was 1 or 2 years old. Ah, I'm so tired, can I take a break? August threw himself into his arms. Advertisement. He pretended to be weak and begged. His big watery eyes looked pitiful. 1508. Wu Ming's mouth twitched. Fortunately, August's laziness is also limited, and it doesn't matter if he slacks off occasionally. He simply agreed to his plea. Okay, I'm going to play chess with Sister Wendy, Sister Merity, Sister Urza, and Sister Ultir, and I'm going to compete with Sister Carla to see who can fly faster. August was happy. He ran away while talking, and left the room in the blink of an eye. At this time, Zeref also walked in. Teacher, August is still young, yours is a bit too tight. Zeref greeted respectfully, then he started talking. Obviously, he had been entrusted with this matter by August before he came in. Very clever. Wu Ming guessed that August had asked Zeref to help him speak. His character needs to be polished, Wu Ming explained. Yeah, Zeref nodded. The teacher had received a commission from Kingdom of Fury. Wu Ming raised his eyebrows, looked at him and asked him to continue. You should know that Fury has been holding the Grand Magic Tournament in recent years. This year, the Fairy Tail Guild will participate. And King Fury thinks that this session should be more exciting, so he hopes that I will invite Angel Wing to participate in the Grand Magic Tournament. Zeref stated the purpose of this event. What? Wu Ming's face was full of confusion. Kingdom of Fury actually invited them Angel Wing? You must be kidding. You know, their Angel Wing has always been an independent guild. It does not meet the requirements of this competition. Why would they be invited? Maybe they want to see the strength of Angel Wings, Zeref analyzed. In recent years, Kingdom of Fury has been very ambitious. Some nobles may be unhappy with the uncontrolled guild. They want to show the power of the kingdom to Angel Wings. The Great Magic Fighting Exercise. Wu Ming couldn't help thinking. Asking him to take Irene and Celine to participate is completely bullying. However, if Urza, Ultir, Merity, and Wendy participate, there will be no problem. One person is missing. Thinking that if they participate, it seems that one person is missing. I think August is good. Although he is only 6 years old, his strength is comparable to that of an S-class wizard. Zeref roughly guessed it. Active recommendation. Advertisement. If it doesn't work, you can arrange someone to be the captain. At worst, you can transfer someone from other places, Zeref said. If you want to participate, there are many candidates. That's it, there's nothing wrong with playing, Wu Ming agreed. To participate in such a child's thing, just let Urza and the others go. Then I'll go back and report. Seeing that the matter was settled, Zeref also took the initiative to leave, as he was the Pope of the Angel Church. He also had to participate in the great magic fighting exercise. He was still quite busy, no need to see you off. Wu Ming agreed decisively. He was also thinking about the next arrangements. He must participate in the great magic fighting exercise, so that Urza and others can test the strength of Natsu and others. In addition, the Dragon King Festival after the great magic fighting exercise. Wu Ming decided to make a big move, after thinking it through. Wu Ming notified Urza and a few others to come, after a while. A few people came back. 7 years have changed everyone a little. Urza is more handsome, every move is quite kingly. The eyes are more oppressive, and her strength has become much stronger. After all, Urza is the child of 2 Dragon Kings, Wu Ming and Irene. Ultir has also changed. She is tall, with long silky hair draped behind her, and her explosive figure is beyond description. She is also very strong. She is still Urza's opponent now, and the magic of time has become more and more buggy in her hands. Merity has also changed a lot. She has changed from a gloomy character 7 years ago to a cheerful and beautiful girl now. The thunder attribute has flourished in her hands. The one who has changed the most is Wendy, thinking back to the past. When I first came to Esdeath, I met another Wendy from the Fairy Tale Guild. She was gloomy for a long time, now 7 years have passed. The ordinary figure has finally become quite curved. I have heard Carla complain about it. Every time Wendy takes a bath, she has to admire her figure for a while. Of course, she has also become a lot taller. Needless to say, her strength is naturally unlimited. She has already mastered the Dragon 5 completely with unlimited potential. Even Urza and Ultir, I dare not say that I can beat them. It's like this, you have all been training for 7 years. It just so happens that the great magic fighting exercise of Wanli Kingdom is about to begin this year. So you guys should participate this time. It's a good opportunity to test the strength of Natsu and others who have been training for 7 years. Wu Ming glanced at a few people. He told them about the mission this time. The great magic fighting exercise? The grand program that all guilds in the entire kingdom participate in, right? It sounds great. I can't wait to fight on the same stage with other guilds. Hee. Do I have a chance to play? Several people did not reject it. After staying at home in Esdeath for 7 years, they have long been a little impatient. This time, they can have a good time. Get ready. When you participate in this competition, Irene and I will cheer for you. Wu Ming did not give too many instructions. After all, this is a small matter, so there is no need to make a big fuss. Go. August is at the age of playing. He immediately jumped off the stool and rushed towards his room shouting. He had already started to pack up. Chapter 118, Great Demonic Fighting Show, Aerial Maze. Fury Capital, the capital of flowers, Crocus. This celebration for wizards is held once a year, the Great Magic Battle. At 2h a carat a plus the whole city is bustling. There are wizards and tourists from all over the country, and the whole city is filled with a festive atmosphere. In the center of the city is the castle of King Fury, the Palace of Lights, Merucleas. On the mountain in the west is the venue of this great magic battle, Thomas Brow. Walking on the street, you can see wizards everywhere. This kind of celebration is a good day not to be missed, and every wizard hopes to see the outstanding performance of his guild. Many guilds are not too excited even when they arrive here because of their own lack of strength, but look around nervously. Seriously adjust your mentality. But the participants of the Angel Wing Guild are not nervous at all, and 2 or 3 of them wander around the city together. The lively environment of the celebration is the best entertainment place for the playful August. After arriving here, holding Wendy's hand, he rushed into the crowd and walked through the stalls. He would buy anything interesting he saw, of course. He would also help Wu Ming or his godmother buy things. Sister Wendy, look, aren't those the people that father secretly watched? After walking through the streets, August suddenly pointed in a direction. Wendy looked. In the middle of the street, several people slumped on the ground as if they were exhausted. Natsu, Gray, Lucy, Elfman, Lasana, are these the contestants of the Fairy Tale Guild? Wendy said. It's not surprising, but why are there no powerful people like Laxus? It may not work just relying on them. Advertisement. Hey, Natsu, that's the Natsu of the Fire Dragon King, right? August was very curious. He often heard his father say that Natsu was the child raised by the Fire Dragon King. He will be very strong in the future. I really want to fight him. August felt a little jealous. His father kept nagging about Natsu, and he was very unhappy with his father. So he always wanted to defeat Natsu. He was just a Fire Dragon King. His father was also a dragon king, his eldest aunt was also a dragon king, and his second aunt was also a dragon. In terms of birth, he was not bad either. You will be able to beat him in 10 or 20 years. Wendy rubbed his hair. August certainly cannot beat Natsu now. He will have to wait another 10 years to make it possible. Oh, Sister Wendy, let's go and find Sister Urza. August was not unconvinced. After looking at that side for a few more times, he turned his bright eyes and stood on Wendy's palm and turned to leave. Wendy also nodded here. I was thinking of saying hello before leaving, but now I think I'll see you again at the game. Shuttle all the way. Soon, I found Urza and others in a clothing store. Urza, Ultir, and Merity were picking clothes. Carla also turned into a human form. Acting as a reviewer, several people almost tried all the clothes in the store. It must be said that the girls have explosive figures and can handle almost all types of clothes. Hello, sisters. August walked into the store and rushed up to greet Urza and her sisters. Is August not shopping again? Urza squinted her eyes, squatted down, and patted August got some dust from somewhere. He rubbed his head and spoke. I ran into Natsu and the others on the road, and I came to see you in a hurry, Wendy explained. The girls raised their eyebrows, but they didn't ask any more questions, and pulled Wen to join the army of people trying on clothes. The girls treated this clothing store as their own wardrobe. The group of people had a lot of fun. The owner of the clothing store had a smile on his face, although almost all the clothes had been tried on. But these beautiful ladies were also wealthy. There was no bargaining when buying. He wished these ladies would stay in their store forever. One store after another, until 8 or 9 o'clock in the evening. The girls remembered the rules of the game and returned to their hotel together. Finally, you're back. I thought you guys were having a blast outside. As soon as they arrived at the hotel, advertisement. They found Wu Ming and Irene, Celine, Uru, Mavis and other girls were here. They had obviously been waiting for a long time, $399. August smiled and glanced at them after seeing them. He threw himself directly into Mavis' arms. August, did you cause trouble for the sisters outside? Mavis squinted her eyes and hugged her son. Her figure didn't change much, but her personality gradually became a kind mother. The education of her son is also a top priority. How could it be? August refuted strongly. Even if he really caused trouble, he would definitely not tell. Although it's against the rules, I still have to tell you that the audition will start at 12 o'clock in the evening. If you don't come back at the specified time, you will be eliminated. Don't let Angel Wings be eliminated in the audition. Wu Ming knows the rules of the game very well. Luck is very important in the audition stage. Although it violates the anti-game rules, it is still against conscience to leak the questions. Audition? Urza and the other girls were also very surprised. According to the understanding of the previous sessions, there is no stage in this regard. If it weren't for what Wu Ming said, they might really be eliminated. It's really embarrassing to think about using that scene. Yes, the audition is to find the exit in the maze. Come on, we'll see you at the competition tomorrow. Chatted with the girls. Wu Ming saw that it was past 11 o'clock, so he didn't delay any longer and took Irene and the other candidates out of the hotel. Not long after, when the clock struck 12, a guy wearing a pumpkin head was projected over the silent city. All the guild wizards who came for the big magic show, good morning. The voice of the pumpkin head resounded throughout the city. All the contestants walked to the balcony and saw the huge projected figure. In order to select 8 teams from the 114 participating teams, the preliminaries will begin now. The words of the Pumpkinhead immediately stunned many participating teams. This sudden preliminaries shocked many teams that didn't care, because it was too sudden. More than 100 teams were reduced to 8 groups. This cruelty was beyond imagination, and the weak teams were all uneasy. The number of participating guilds is increasing year by year. Some people complained that the activities were becoming less and less exciting, so this year we decided to select 8 groups to participate. The rules of the preliminary round are very simple. Pumpkinhead introduced. At the same time, he pointed his finger lightly, and all the hotels of participating teams in the whole city, except Li Jiao, shook. Rumble rumble, the roar continued. One hotel after another rose from the ground and soon rose to a higher height. First of all, please compete in the race. The endpoint is the venue of this battle, Thomas Brow. The first 8 groups to arrive can participate in the official competition. Then, a wooden road appeared in front of the balcony of the hotel. It extended all the way to a round sphere at a higher place. Everyone can use magic freely, without any restrictions. Only the first 8 groups that reach the destination first will pass the preliminary round. However, 5 people must pass together, otherwise they will be eliminated. And, if you die in the maze, we will not be responsible at all. The preliminary round of the Great Magic Fighting Exercise, Aerial Maze, start. Pumpkinhead announced the rules of the competition. At the command, all the participating teams rushed out immediately to compete for the top 8 spots. On this side, Urza and the other 5 did not dare to be too careless. They also rushed out immediately. Chapter 119. Stupid way, first place? In the city below, the originally quiet streets suddenly became very lively. Because of the start of the preliminaries, many tourists who were originally going to sleep got up. Sit down on the streets, in the taverns, and on the roofs. Look up at the huge ball in the sky, waiting for the live report of the Pumpkinhead. A roof. The stone top is full of flowers and plants, and there are several wooden lounge chairs in between. Wu Ming and others lie on it. They either hold fruits, beer or drinks in their hands, looking at the sky and watching while blowing the wind. Fortunately, this ball has magic to prevent vehicle sickness, otherwise our team would be wiped out. Irene didn't know whether to laugh or cry. The girls all laughed. Urza, Ultir, Merity, Wendy, these four are either dragons or dragon slayers. If there is no magic to make vehicles sick, they will all be wiped out directly. That would be too lame. Be thankful. Wu Ming smiled. I couldn't help but think of the competitive content related to the official competition. If you think about it this way, it will be difficult for our team to finish the game early with full marks. Wu Ming couldn't help thinking. It's unlikely to get full marks. I hope the score is not too low. Aerial maze. Follow the road to go inside. Various 983 strange routes are dazzling. You can only pass the level by going east, but these roads are quite complicated. Urza touched her chin and looked at various passages. Time is running out. It should be very slow to walk through the passage. Ultir pushed open a door. On the other side of the door is an unfamiliar environment, which means that the places where these passages lead are completely random. There is no way to be sure that you will walk just right. Can't fly. Merity tried to float up, but she landed again less than 10 centimeters from the ground. It seems that the organizers also thought of this way to restrict people. The air is completely the same. Wendy sniffed the air. It's hard to find the target through the air. In this way, you may be eliminated under various restrictions. The east is here. August took out a compass from his arms, then figure out the direction. Everyone looked over. However, finding the direction was useless, and they had to find a way to keep moving forward. The dumbest way, right? August's eyes lit up. The girls looked at him in confusion. Jump down. We're at a height where we can move ahead while jumping down. No need to risk walking through the passage and going in the wrong direction. August suggested. If you can't fly, just jump. As long as you keep jumping forward, it should be pretty fast. That makes sense. Urza thought about it and nodded. In this maze, she even turned the space door she opened into a random exit. Jumping may be a dumb way, but it is indeed the most effective. They did it as soon as they said it. Several people pointed to the landing point and immediately landed, simply adjusting their bodies to land directly at the designated location. That's right. Just after landing, Wendy suddenly raised her voice. Advertisement. I can push my body to change direction in midair so it can be faster, Wendy said. Instantly, Urza and the girls gave her a thumbs up. I tried it quickly and it was much more convenient and faster. Where is this? Why is that passage so messy? It's such a troublesome preliminaries. Let's fight with others. We won't be able to advance if we continue like this. After walking a long distance, a team came out of a nearby passage and the leader was holding a map in his hand. Others shouted in annoyance, as soon as the voice fell. The team saw Urza and the others, and after a moment of stunned silence, one or two of them had a sly smile on their faces. Hey, ladies. Can you hand over your maps? Hee hee hee. You are all beautiful ladies, how about we play here? Haha, look, there is a 7 or 8-year-old kid, is this team here to make fun of you? The wizards were talking. Some wanted maps, and some wanted to give up the game and play adult games with the beauties. Thunder. However, CFAD, these wizards had offended someone they shouldn't have offended. Merity raised her hand and released lightning, crack. The lightning struck directly, instantly electrocuting the 5 wizards and scarring them. The body fell down paralyzed. A few pieces of paper were scattered in the air, slowly falling down. August stretched out his hand, and saw that the paper seemed to be attracted and floated into his palm. Their map is so sloppy. August looked at the map. I looked left and right but couldn't understand what was drawn on it. Let's speed up. Urza took the map and looked at it. Then she took out a pen. She drew a few strokes casually and put it on the ground, ready to randomly trap the team that picked up the map. The few people didn't say much. They kept moving forward faster and soon came to a strange place. Is the end point above our heads? The few people looked up. There was land above their heads, and a road on the land continued to extend eastward. Ultir, who had particularly good eyesight, saw the end point. Then the question is, how can we get there if we can't fly? Advertisement. The end point is above our heads. If we can't fly and can't jump high, it seems that there is no way to land there. Rumble. Just when the girls were confused, the whole maze made a rumbling sound, and all the roads began to twist. Urza was about to remind them. The passage above their heads and where they were standing switched positions. The few people fell directly. Bang! Fortunately, with the help of Wendy, the few people didn't fall to the ground. It's so easy. After landing, looking at the finish line not far away, several people felt that it was not difficult at all. The tense spirit also relaxed. Walked to the finish line with a smile. Huh? So fast. At the entrance of the passage, Pumpkinhead came out to greet them. You should know that the qualifying team in the preliminaries may appear 10 minutes after the first change of direction. And this team, after changing direction, appeared directly at the finish line. It was really fast. Congratulations, you are the first team to advance. You are really worthy of being the people of Angel Wings. Pumpkinhead congratulated them. In his heart, he admired this independent guild, and at the same time, he had to adjust the matchmaking for the main game. Good luck. Urza and the other girls didn't expect to be the first place. It can only be said that they were lucky, just like that. They advanced with the first place, not long after that. The other 7 teams have been replenished. The projection of the Pumpkinhead reappeared. Okay, now all 8 teams are here. The preliminary round of the Great Magic Fighting Martial Arts Show, the Air Maze, is over. The game is over. Everyone is hanging in the air, not knowing whether the team they're following will advance. What? Are you asking which teams will enter the official competition? This is a great pleasure of the competition, so stay tuned. Obviously, the Pumpkinhead had no intention of announcing the results of the game. After saying a secret, he disappeared at the speed of light. Chapter 120. The one who was replaced was not them. The Grand Magic Fighting Martial Arts Arena. Colorful fireworks shot into the sky, exploding brilliant fireworks in the air. The venue was packed. Countless wizards and spectators, sitting or standing in their seats. Looking forward to the official competition. I wonder what place Urza and the others got. Irene was curious. Urza and the others didn't go to find them last night. This means that they have advanced, but we don't know what place they got. It's okay, as long as they pass the preliminaries, then the rankings in the next competition should be first if nothing unexpected happens. Wu Ming touched his chin and inferred. The Angel Wings team advanced, so who was eliminated? It shouldn't be the 2 teams of the Fairy Tail Guild. After all, they are not the same as before, in the subsequent competitions. The only 2 teams of the Fairy Tail Guild that have the strength to compete for the first place are the 2 teams of the Fairy Tail Guild. However, Wu Ming is still very confident in Urza and the others. It's just a competition. Natsu and his team will definitely not explode and activate the dragon power, so as a team to compete. No one should be a match for Urza and others. Hello everyone. This moment of the year has come again. The annual Magic Festival is here, the Grand Magic Fighting Exercise. The host announced enthusiastically, in the arena. The cheerleaders kept dancing, attracting a large number of audiences to cheer. This time, the Grand Magic Fighting Exercise is about to open, and I, Jabati Lola, will report live for everyone. At the same time, we have invited Mr. Yajima, the former commentator, to explain for everyone. So the guest invited on the first day today is Miss Jenny Relight of Blue Pegasus, who was selected as Miss Fury. Jabati finished introducing the guests. He lowered his head to look at the manuscript and prepared to announce the players selected for the 8 teams. The audience cheered. A night passed, and I didn't hear about which team was selected. You'll know it now, everyone. It's time for the contestants to enter the venue. First up is the 8th place in the preliminaries. Can they regain their former glory? Welcome the first group to enter, the rude group that is not as good as its name, Fairy Tail. As Jabati introduced, the 8th contestant entered the venue, and 5 members walked out of the passage. They raised their right fists. Advertisement they walked out of the passage with a heroic spirit. However, what people didn't expect was that their appearance did not make the audience cheer. On the contrary, they all gave a thumbs up. Boos. What's going on? It's all boos. What's going on? Natsu and the others were confused. This is totally different from what they thought. Shouldn't there be warm cheers? Fairy Tail always lags behind every year, but this time they made it through the preliminaries, so they can at least get 8th place this year. After the return of the serious team that caused a stir across the continent, will they become the first in Fury again? Jabati explained. It is obvious that Fairy Tail's performance in recent years has been too poor, making many people think that they just happened to be 8th place. They don't deserve this result. That's great, congratulations, Fairy Tail. Mr. Yujima did not refute. He gave a thumbs up to Natsu and others, and he was still looking forward to them in his heart. Walala. Soon the cheers rang out. In the audience, the members of the Fairy Tail Guild who did not participate in the competition shouted at the top of their lungs. Although there were no spectators cheering for them. But everyone in the guild didn't care, when they get results. The audience will have a new understanding of them. It doesn't matter. Just cheer for us. Natsu and his friends soon stopped caring. This time they must win the championship and let the whole continent admire their Fairy Tail Guild. Natsu, Lucy, Gray, Elfman and Lasana. Wu Ming murmured. Since Wendy and Urza didn't join Fairy Tail, the 2 missing people were replaced by Elfman and Lasana. Natsu is the most difficult to deal with. Gray seems to have got the demon killing method from his father when he was on Tenro Island. He is the second most difficult person to deal with. As for Lucy, she should be able to open the Celestial Spirit Cloth now, and there should be no problem with opening the 3 doors. She is the most difficult. Elfman and Lasana may not even be able to beat August. Uru held the drink. He bit the straw and took 2 sips, analyzing the battle history of this team. Well, August might have a hard time dealing with Gray, but Lucy should be no problem. August is still young after all. Although he knows a lot of magic, he doesn't have much combat experience. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. He might lose to Gray. Advertisement. As for Lucy, although she is very strong after 7 years of training, her melee ability is very poor. August should be able to deal with her easily. Everyone. Next is the 7th place in the preliminaries, the Hound Corps from Hell. People call it Quattro Cerberus. Jabati announced the 7th place. Many people in the audience cheered. Apparently, in the past time, Quattro Cerberus has won many supporters. It's not Quattro Cerberus. In the audience, Wu Ming was a little surprised when he heard the name of this guild. He originally thought the guild that was to be replaced was Quattro Cerberus, but it turned out not to be it. Then who could it be? It can't be that it replaced Fairy Tail B-Team, or the strongest guild, Sword-Bite Tiger. 0. Next is the 6th place in the preliminaries, the guild composed of all women, the Dancing Sister of the Sea, Mermaid Heel. A new guild appeared. 5 beauties made a brilliant appearance, and their appearance immediately caused cheers from all the men in the audience. It's not them. Wu Ming touched his chin. His eyes stayed on 2 members of this guild. Kagura, this girl is a master, and her brother should not have died. When in Tower of Heaven, no one died, and Kagura and her men were arrested and put in a cell. The others should have been forced to be released. Then what was the reason for her not to unsheath her sword? Another one is Miliana. She joined Mermaid Heel was not surprised. The question was whether there was any so-called deep hatred. After all, Jelal was still a member of the demon cult. The 5th place is the blue wings shining in the dark, Blue Pegasus. Next is the 4th place. The goddess of love and war, also the sacred destroyer, Lamia Scale. 2 more teams appeared. There are only 3 teams left. After thinking about it, the remaining ones should be Raventail, Fairy Tail B-Team and Saberbite Tiger. And his angel wings. Who will be replaced? This is really not so easy to guess. In the top 3, I didn't expect them to be so powerful. Uru was full of emotion. His eyes stayed on Leon and Gray on the field. These 2 apprentices have also grown into handsome young men. Chapter 121. Shock. The biggest dark horse of the year has been killed. The applause gradually died down. The whispers became louder and louder, and the audience was looking forward to the next top 3. Everyone, there are only 3 teams that have passed the preliminaries. I believe you must be looking forward to who they are like me. Then let's welcome the 3rd place in the preliminaries with warm applause. Jabati announced loudly, successfully mobilized the emotions of all the audience. Wow, it's really unexpected. Can they become the key to the fallen wings flying again? I didn't expect it. I really didn't expect it. It turned out to be Fairy Tail B-Team. Jabati introduced in a surprised tone. At the same time, 5 members walked out of the passage, and their badges confirmed their identities. Sister, Gajil, Mistogan, Laxus, Juvia? The moment they appeared, Natsu and others exclaimed, staring blankly at the 5 people in front of them. Why is there another team? The most important thing is that the 2 teams should have violated the rules of the game. Are they going to be eliminated before they even start playing? The other guilds were a little surprised. They didn't expect that 2 teams from Fairy Tail would advance. I really admire them. The audience was also stunned. They were talking to each other, as if they were talking about something. Some people even thought that they should be disqualified. Similarly, the quiet arena also caused many people to be confused. Ah. The rules have been slightly changed since this time, so it seems that many people are confused, Mr. Yujima. It is obvious that Jabati knew this would happen. Looking at the commentator beside him. Well, I remember that this time it seems that each guild can send 1 or 2 teams to participate. It seems that there is such a rule. Mr. Yujima explained to everyone directly, after listening. It suddenly dawned on them. It turned out that there was no violation. They could have joined 2 teams. This is the first time we have heard of this, President. Lucy on this side muttered. It was in vain that they were vigilant and fought for this game. Result. Ahahaha. Makarov stood on the edge. He laughed with his hands on his waist. See, this is our fairy tale. Makarov was full of energy. He didn't expect that both teams would advance. Now it seems that they will definitely win the championship. The final system this time is to let the teams fight each other. Since they are from the same guild, is there really a way to fight each other? Jabati raised the risk appropriately. It can also be regarded as helping the audience to consult about this matter. Since it is that guild, then I think there should be no problem, Yujima said. This can also be regarded as answering the audience's concerns. Here, Wu Ming sat in the audience seats, looking old and frail, and was not surprised by this kind of thing. I really didn't expect that Fairy Tail could have 2 teams advance. Irene sighed. This is the benefit of carefully checking the rules of the game. She didn't think about it. Damn it. If I had found out earlier, we could have formed more teams, so that there would be 2 of our teams in the top 8. Celine was so angry that her teeth were itching. If she had discovered this rule earlier, she would have definitely found more teams to participate in the competition together. Advertisement, then it would not be a one-man show for the Fairy Tail Guild. Forget it, at least give other teams a chance, Wu Ming said. In this way, Angel Wings should have replaced Raventail. After all, Sword-Bite Tiger was the #1 guild in the past 2 years. It is not that they cannot even advance to the preliminaries this time. Go Fairy Tail. Mavis waved and cheered. It was obviously encouragement from the heart. Below, what a joke, even if the opponent is from the same guild, I will do my best and will never show mercy. Natsu shouted. He was sealed for 7 years, and he really wanted to be beaten. Even if the opponent is a companion, he will never admit defeat and must win in the end. It couldn't be better. We didn't have a proper fight in the 7 years on Tenro Island. Let's compete here. Of course Gajil won't give in. The 7 years on Tenro Island, each of us practiced very hard. The strength of each other is unknown. It's a rare opportunity. We must have a good fight to prove the results of the 7 years of practice. The two sides haven't fought yet. There are already invisible blades facing each other. Both sides want to compete. Okay, the next team to appear is the second place team in the preliminaries, announced Fake Buddy. All guilds are thinking. Now it is certain that one team is the strongest guild, Sword-Bite Tiger. Then who is the other one? Which other powerful guild is hiding in the dark? Including the participating teams. They are also waiting, hoping to analyze an unknown team. When I saw this name, my brain told me it was impossible. But it is the real second place. He is the strongest, invincible. They can be said to be the absolute king, Sword-Biting Tiger. One word stirred up 1,000 waves. The audience was in an uproar. They held their heads and shouted, muttering impossible. In their hearts, Sword-Biting Tiger is the absolute king, it should be the first place. But the host told them, the strongest guild is only the second place? Are you kidding? The strongest guild is only the second place? This King Tiger, this year, the throne was taken over by someone else. Not good. There are so many variables in this year's Grey Demon fighting performance. Sword biting. Second place, the participating teams all look solemn. In their understanding, the second place should be an unknown dark horse that suddenly popped out. As a result, this dark horse actually killed the tiger. Directly pushed the tiger, the king of beasts, off the altar. In the passage, the 5 members of the sword-biting tiger came out, and everyone had a very ugly face. They are the kings. They were pushed off the throne of the strongest this year, and they couldn't sleep. Although there were still many shouts, advertisement. But it was particularly harsh in their ears, like a silent mockery. An unexpected accident. But don't worry, the ranking of the preliminary round is not equal to the real ranking, so accidents always happen anywhere. Then let us welcome the first place in the preliminary round with the highest shouts and the strongest calls. Jabati took control of the situation in time, appeased the most loyal fans of the sword-biting tiger, and prepared to announce the first place team. Cheers, jumping for joy. Not all the audience likes the sword-biting tiger. There are also many people who are unhappy with them. At this time, an unknown guild stepped on the sword-biting tiger. They all cheered at the top of their voices, no matter who it is. As long as the sword-biting tiger is stepped on, then they deserve their applause and shouts. At the same time, all the guilds and participating teams in the venue looked nervously at the last passage. They were eager to know, who was it that could suppress the sword-bite tiger? I believe many people have not heard of this guild, but you must know the power it is attached to. This power exists in every city on the continent, it is the Angel Church. Jabati introduced according to the script. All the audience were stunned. They knew the Angel Church. What they didn't understand was that there were powerful guilds in this church. They didn't know much, but out of respect for the Angel Church, they also applauded to welcome the unknown team. However, many guilds couldn't help but frown. The affiliated guild of the Angel Church, could it be? Mirajane heard the introduction. The uneasiness in her heart became stronger and stronger, and she could only think of that. Is it true? If it is really them, is it really necessary to hold this great magic battle performance? Mistogan also said in a muffled voice. He really didn't want it to be the possibility he thought in his heart. It shouldn't be. Lucy here also suppressed her strong uneasiness. I couldn't stop denying it in my heart. The situation is not good. I can only think of them. Gray's forehead was sweating unconsciously. If 3.2 is true, then it will be the end. Although his strength has become much stronger, he doesn't think he can beat the opponent. The same idea also emerged in the audience. Mr. Wu Ming and the others are here. I hope they're just watching the fun, not participating in the competition. Makarov wiped the sweat off his face. He will never forget the horror of angel wings, even though the children have been training for 7 years. But the opponent has also been training for 7 years. I believe many people already know that they are the ones who protect the safety of the continent and fight on the front line, angel wings. Buzz. When the name was announced, the figures of the two teams of Fairy Tale couldn't stand steadily. The face turned pale. The most fearful thing is that they are afraid. And here, the sword-bite tiger, the 5 members all had low faces, and they had often heard the famous saying of angel wings before. What angel wings? We must defeat them completely if we encounter them. Sting snorted coldly. He swore, he must make this guild know the power of their sword-bite tigers. I heard that this guild has dragons. Maybe he can even devour dragons, which is really exciting. Chapter 122. Are you kidding? Angel Wings actually lets kids participate in the competition? Accompanied by applause, members of Angel Wings walked out of the passage. They wore the same white cape with gold prints, and the guild's angel emblem was printed on it. The breeze blew, and their capes rustled. Urza, Ultir, Merity, Wendy and the child. Natsu was stunned when he saw the people. He knew the first 4, and although 7 years had passed, their general appearance had not changed. Except for that 7 or 8-year-old kid. Ms. Urza, isn't it a bad idea to let a kid play? Lasana reminded quietly. In the S-Death world, she had some interactions with Urza. So she dared to take the initiative to say hello. Hey, you guys really can't get enough people, right? Why are there kids? Gray pinched his waist and complained. This kid is here to make up the numbers. Although this kind of competition won't kill people, it's still very likely to cause serious injuries. When you meet this kid, should you fight or not? Urza. Laxus frowned here. He didn't care about the kid, he just wanted to get along with him as soon as possible. Urza is matched together. Use strength to prove 7 years of training. Is it really okay for this kid to play? Mirajane worried. This kid is so young. Why did they arrange him to play? Other teams were also surprised. They didn't have much contact with Angel Wing. But this is either a woman or a child. I always feel that it is not as majestic as the legend says. Ridiculous. Hey, guys from Angel Wing, I heard that you have dragons, right? Sting raised his head proudly. He looked down on these people with his nose, and his expression showed that he didn't care. This brother, your nose hair is exposed. August didn't understand. This person looked particularly stupid, and he quickly reminded him. Suddenly, Sting's face flushed. There was a strong anger between his eyebrows. If the game hadn't started yet, he would definitely take action. Sting and Rogue. The 3rd generation Dragonslayer, your strength is too weak, isn't it? Urza glanced at the two. Not even as good as Laxus 7 years ago. It's too bad. There was a lot of discussion in the arena. Advertisement. The audience didn't think much of it. What was going on with 4 women bringing a child to the stage? Maybe they passed the preliminaries by luck. It was too embarrassing to be robbed of the first place by such a team. Is this kid the child of the 1st generation? Makarov didn't despise it. He knew that this child was the child of the 1st generation Mavis and Mr. Wu Ming. These two had terrifying magic power. And they were immortal. How could the child they gave birth to be an ordinary kid? Maybe it was a more gear DOS is still a pervert. Well, everyone. The 8 teams have entered the venue. Now let's announce the program of the Grand Magic Fighting Competition. After giving the audience a certain amount of time to discuss, Jabadi announced. In the arena, the front of all the teams shook. A stone tablet rose from the ground. Are there competitions and battles on the same day? Urza looked at the stone tablet. It clearly stated the daily competitions and battles. First of all, the competition part will be ranked from 1st to 8th in order. Then points will be added to each team according to the ranking. Also, in the competition part, you can freely choose a player from the team to participate. Next is the battle part. This item will refer to the results of fans voting, etc., and the final battle combination will be determined by the conference. Jabadi announced the rules of the game. The participating teams quickly analyzed the doorway inside. If you are unlucky, you may enter the battle immediately after running out of magic power in the competition part. Lucy felt that this kind of game was not good, but thinking about it, it didn't matter. Such rules are fair to everyone. Hey, I suggest targeting the members of Angel Wings in the competition part. Gajeel of Fairy Tail B team suggested. Originally, they were sure to win, but the appearance of Angel Wings immediately disrupted their winning rate. They must target them well. It depends on the situation. I personally still want to compete with them one-on-one. Gray did not agree but did not refuse, if there is a chance. He naturally hopes to defeat the opponent in a one-on-one match, but for the victory of the guild. He doesn't mind cooperating. The rules for this part of the battle are very simple. Each team must fight in a one-on-one manner. The winning team will get 10 points, the losing team will get 0 points, and in case of a tie, both teams will get 5 points each. Advertisement. Then next. The opening game of this great magic battle performance, Hidden, is about to begin. On the stone tablet, all the rules disappeared, replaced by the 2 hidden ministers. The audience was very curious. I don't know what this opening game is and what the specific rules are. The number of participants is 1 person per team, and the rules of the game will be explained after all the players are present. Jabadi announced. Each team began to communicate and analyze the content of the game from the name. The first person to sign up is Jaeger from Quattro Cerberus. Mermaid Heel sent Beth Bondawood. Amidst the cheers, Blue Pegasus sent Iftermu. The attention of the crowd, Saber-Eyed Tiger sent the bard who sings to the red moon. Rufus is on stage. The contestants took the stage one by one. The Fairy Tail Guild also sent out candidates. For secret, why don't you let me go? I'm the youngest and most suitable. August of 967 Angel Wings raised his hand to express his opinion. Secret. It sounds fun. He should be the most suitable person to go on stage. Well, let me go. Gray and Leon are already on stage, so let me go. Ultir volunteered. Gray and Leon are both out, and it would be unreasonable for her, as the elder sister, not to go on stage. Ultir goes on stage. August waits a little longer. You are the youngest. I am afraid many people will hope you will appear in the later duels. Urza is the captain. After a little thought, she decisively selected the candidates. As for August, it is more likely that he will appear in the later duels. Really? I will fight with someone today? August's eyes flashed with gold. Fighting seems to be okay. I don't know if it is today. If I am Yang Lifeng, I will definitely let you appear in the duel. Merity held her face and analyzed. Confirmed the candidates. Ultir stepped forward. Angel Wings sent Ultir. Jabadi announced the candidates. The above are the players sent by each of the 8 teams to participate in the competition. As for the secret rules of the opening game, introduced by the lucky charm of the competition, Jabadi said, his work is temporarily completed, and the next step is to wait for the official start of the game before reporting. Chapter 123. A figure from the future, no one can defeat Ultir. In the arena, the mascot of the competition, Pumpkinhead, came on stage. Panthers from each team who are participating in the secret game, please come forward. Pumpkinhead greeted them. 8 contestants stepped forward. Even though 7 years have passed, you haven't changed much, Gray and Leon. Ultir stood beside Gray and Leon. She glanced at the two of them, and greeted them enthusiastically with her eyes. Senior sister hasn't changed much either. Is Master not in good health? Leon was concerned. It has been 7 years since they last met. It's not that he doesn't want to see him. It's mainly because Master and the others come and go without a trace. It's hard to find them. Besides, doesn't it mean that they are living a fulfilling life if they don't contact each other? Nothing has changed. By the way, you two should find a partner. Do you have a crush on someone? Ultir asked. Swish, as soon as these words came out. Juvia's face on the other side of Gray turned red. Hello. Ultir's sister, I am Gray's wife, please take care of me. Juvia stuttered. With steam coming out of her head, she bowed stiffly and greeted him. Don't talk nonsense. Really, Ultir, you haven't gotten married yet, I'm not in a hurry. Gray covered his forehead in silence. He had always been troubled by Juvia's attitude, even though they had been together on Tenro Island for 7 years. But he still couldn't give an explanation. As for Juvia, Gray will have to worry about you in the future. Ultir replied with a smile. Although Gray was denying, but judging from the situation of the two people, it was almost the same. Everyone, please don't treat this as a place to chat, now listen to me. Pumpkinhead saw that everyone was chatting happily. He also interrupted their communication and asked the players to look at him. We will start the game soon, Pumpkinhead said. Pointing to the sky with both hands, behind everyone, buildings appeared in the entire arena. In the blink of an eye, a miniature town was formed. The whole audience was in an uproar. Everyone looked at the formed town and admired the organizer for having such a huge magic power. Players enter, Pumpkinhead pointed again. The 8 members were immediately teleported to the town and were all separated to various places. Awesome. Ultir looked around. She was teleported in without anyone noticing. This power is amazing. Dear audience members at the venue, please enjoy the situation in the town through the magic crystal image. The 8 contestants have no idea of each other's movements. The secret rules are very simple. They are both ghosts and are both being chased. They must find each other in this town and then use any magic to attack each other. Regardless of whether the damage is done or not, anyone who successfully attacks will be awarded points. The contestants listened to the secret rules. Just then, light appeared around them, and the appearances of the contestants appeared one by one. These are all puppets. It's very difficult to catch ghosts or be caught by ghosts in this situation. Advertisement: it shouldn't be possible to attack randomly. If possible, all puppets can be destroyed to find people. Ultir looked at the puppets with the same appearance. The appearance was lifelike. It was exactly the same as her. If there was magic to control the puppets, it could be completely indistinguishable from the real thing. This is everyone's clone. If you accidentally attack the clone, the team will be deducted a point on the spot. Come on. Disappear in the silence, like a black cat lurking in midnight. Secretly. Start. DT. The gong sounded, accompanied by a crisp cry, and the opening game began secretly. Rather than playing hide and seek, it's more like a competition of how to find the real enemy, right? Ultir pinched her fair chin. She muttered to herself and thought about what to do. Beep. While she was thinking, a siren sounded in the air. Not good. Juvia attacked the clone, and 1 point will be deducted. At this time, you must start again from another area after 10 seconds. In addition, if you are attacked by other wizards, you will also be deducted 1 point. And you have to start again from another area after 10 seconds. As long as you are within the time limit, you can start over and over again. The limit is 30 minutes, and the team with the most points at the end will be the first. Someone was deducted points. Ultir listened to various information. Basically figured out all the contents of the secret game. Then let's start. Ultir thought of this and walked forward openly. He didn't feel that he was being treated as a ghost at all. Hit. After walking for 3 minutes, Leon suddenly jumped down from the eaves and punched Ultir. Bang. However, what people didn't expect was that Leon's fist actually passed through Ultir's figure. One punch hit the ground. Wow. What's going on? Angel Wings Ultir player is walking forward, and Leon sneaks up from behind. Advertisement: as a result, he passed through the shadow, and didn't touch Ultir at all. Did he get discovered? DBUED. Leon was also confused. He observed very carefully and thought he could sneak up successfully. But why didn't he hit it? While thinking about it, he felt a slight slap on his lower back. A shrill siren sounded. His figure was teleported to another place. Ultir plus 1 point, Leon 1 point. The host reported live. Leon couldn't figure out what was going on, but the audience watching the screen saw it clearly. Just after Leon passed through Ultir's shadow, the shadow suddenly solidified. Reaching out and tapping it lightly, Leon got points. No one should be able to hit Ultir in this game? Uru drank a drink. Secrecy is important in hiding and finding people, and the former is the easiest. In the time attribute, almost no one can touch Ultir because the one walking on the street is the shadow of Ultir's future. Well, it depends on whether Ultir wants to get the first place. Wu Ming nodded. In fact, he hopes that everyone, Lida, can be more restrained. If you always get the first place, the game may be terminated early because of the high score. In that case, there is no fun, as long as you are not the last. Mavis' eyes flickered. At present, the scores of each team are not much different. As long as they are not targeted, they should not be the last. Yeah. There is no Raventail Guild. The two Fairy Tail teams should not be targeted, even if Juvia and Grey are willing to cooperate. The top two may be them. After all, if it rains, you can sense where the other players are in sincerity. Then freeze the rain. It is easy to hit other players. I am afraid that only Ultir and Rufus can escape. Unfortunately, although Grey and Juvia have strong magic power, they don't know how to develop magic. It's time to attack. Irene suddenly reminded. Everyone turned their eyes to the screen. Chapter 124. Start counterattacking, score hundreds of points. 10 minutes into the game, the competition among the contestants became more and more intense, and Ultir had been hiding in an unknown place except for the one time when he hit Leon at the beginning. Although Ultir's figure could be seen wandering in the streets and alleys, some people tried to attack from a distance. But no one got any points, and gradually the contestants did not dare to rush up rashly. The members of the Sword-Bite Tiger also did not take the initiative to attack. Many people were puzzled. Rufus' figure appeared on the highest chimney in the miniature town. He stood with his hands behind his back and blew the wind gentlemanly. This competition is too boring. The appearance of Rufus stunned all the contestants. Shouldn't this be hidden? Why stand in such an obvious place? Could it be that the Sword-Bite Tiger intends to give up? I remember everyone's heartbeat, footprints, and the nature of magic in my mind. I remember everything I remember. Rufus did not hide his figure. Muttering to himself, he seemed to want to lure people into the trap. Memory shape. At this time, Rufus put his fingers together and tapped his temple. A red and yellow magic circle loomed behind him. At that moment, the entire arena was shrouded in darkness, and the figures of all the contestants were shining brightly. Great, great. Even Ultir was forced to reveal herself. She was accidentally captured by this thing, and there was no need to use magic to disappear now. On the night when the stars fell, suddenly, several rays of light shot out from Rufus' body, like falling stars directly hitting the other contestants. This magic is so interesting. Ultir was surprised and watched the light falling towards her. She hurriedly pulled out the magic wand from the air. The crystal ball at the tip lit up white light, and a gray magic circle appeared on it. Snap! The light hit the magic circle, and after a crisp sound, the attack was blocked. Blade of Time. After blocking the attack, Ultir's magic wand was aimed at Rufus in the sky. A lightsaber shot out from the crystal ball. Cutting through the air, it flew towards Rufus at high speed. Pop, however, what was unexpected was that the figure of Rufus was actually fake. It disappeared the moment it hit. I didn't expect someone to dodge, but there will be no surprises in the result. Rufus' figure reappeared. Advertisement, CFBG, because what is left here is my memory. He held the hat with one hand. The other hand released light again and attacked Rudy again. Pa! The light hit the figure. Like Rufus, it directly shattered the figure and hit the ground. Interesting. Rufus was stunned. He didn't expect this woman to react so quickly and create afterimages in such a short time. You said that what is left there is memory, so what I left on the ground is also not memory. Ultir's figure also appeared again. Holding the magic wand in both hands, he slowly rose into the air and came to Kongshin, who was not much taller than Lufa. Nani! Nani! Jabadi exclaimed after realizing it belatedly. Rufus killed everyone except Ultir in just one move. Although Ms. Ultir blocked the attack, she also shot a beam from behind. Unexpectedly, Rufus disappeared. Then he appeared again to counterattack, but he also failed to hit Ms. Ultir. And Ms. Ultir seemed to be enraged, flying higher in the sky, holding the magic as if to resist more strongly. Jabadi reported enthusiastically. Although the audience could see it, they still wanted to understand the battle situation by listening. You imitate me? Rufus looked at the lady, smiled and snorted with disdain. He thought this woman was just like that. Learn from you? Ultir just thought it was ridiculous. Raising the magic wand, the crystal ball burst into dazzling light. Then the light shot up into the sky. Bang! When it flew higher, it exploded like fireworks. Scattered tiny light rays fell. Ding ding ding. The light hit the replicas one by one, but what was unexpected was that there was no deduction. Ultir plus 1 Ultir plus 1 Ultir plus 1. A series of dense points were added to her. Even Rufus was hit. How is it possible? What I left behind is my memory. Rufus is about to be teleported. Before leaving, he exclaimed that it was impossible. He could not imagine how he was hit. The power of time. Ultir held the staff flower and said a few words with a smile on his face. Swoosh, advertisement being teleported out. Rufus just came back to his senses and his face was full of black lines. What is the calendar area of time? However, before he could figure it out, suddenly, he found that there was a small light on his head. Snap! Rufus' pupils shrank. Just as he was about to speak, the small light fell on him again, and he was hit again. Ultir plus 1. Plus 2. Plus 3. Not only Rufus, including other contestants, were resurrected and sent back to the countdown of resurrection. Repeated the above actions continuously. What's going on? Is there an error in our calendar equipment? Why are 7 contestants being hit continuously? Jabadi exclaimed. This situation is something he has never seen before. During the entire competition, Tianming contestant was repeatedly hit and counted down. How did it become like this? Are the organizers capable? Why did this happen? Don't be silly. Look at that Ultir. The magic wand in her hand is always glowing. She must be constantly hitting other players. What kind of skill is this? After resurrection, the light is also resurrected. How can she repeat this thing over and over again? What is the situation? Is there something wrong with the organizer's activities, or is she being attacked continuously? The audience whispered. They were relatively shallow and didn't understand what was going on. More people thought it was the organizer's problem. After all, they didn't think there was such a powerful attack method, and 1 or 2 people thought that the game should be prevented from making a major mistake. And the various guilds. Although there were many confused people, the vast majority of people were still rational enough. It should be caused by Ultir's magic. Makarov touched his beard. There must be nothing wrong with the organizer, and the reason for all this was Ultir. And her magic wand is still glowing. This means that her magic is constantly continuing, so it is understandable that other players are being attacked continuously. The attribute of time. Isn't this too strong? Someone couldn't help but ask. The magic of time. Does this kind of bug-level magic really exist? But why is it like this? Is this the power of Ultir? But what is the principle? They can't understand it at all. If the power of time is so strong, then Ultir is invincible. Chapter 125. Good luck, bad luck. The kid who appeared. Principle. It is difficult for outsiders to understand. But for Wu Ming and others, the principle is very simple. After the light falls, it is inevitable to hit the clone, so it should be deducted. But Ultir just uses the time reversal, avoid triggering the deduction mechanism. The reason why Rufus can be hit is also easy to understand, since he said that what remains in the original place is the memory. Then you just need to go back in time, reproduce him in the original place, so that you can hit him. The memory shape may be very powerful, but in the face of time, it is still not enough. As for being hit after resurrection, the principle is the same as time reversal. After the light she fired into the sky exploded, the thin light covered all open air places. As long as the resurrection location is on the street. Then the light that disappeared before the resurrection point can be reappeared. This caused Rufus to be hit again just after resurrection. The speed is too fast. Rufus or other players have no chance to think at all, so naturally they can't find the problem in this regard. 0. 0. 0. The time was over very quickly. The miniature town disappeared in the arena, and all the members reappeared. They all looked very ugly. In the last 20 minutes, they were beaten from the beginning to the end. The score was deducted again and again. Time is over. Jabati announced the end of the game at this time. Then he looked at the scores of each team. Even if he had a big heart, he couldn't help but take a few breaths of cold air. The main reason was that the score was too miserable. In the previous 30 minutes, the most points deducted by being attacked were as high as minus 70 points. That is, being attacked 70 times. Resurrect once in 10 seconds, 6 times in 1 minute, 60 times in 10 minutes. Jabati couldn't bear it as he read it. However, the listeners were also shocked. The other 7 players' faces turned black, and they had no idea how they spent the last 20 minutes. Advertisement, they didn't even count the number of times they were hit. Then please check the ranking of the scores obtained by each team in this round, Jabati announced. On the screen, the ranking of each team appeared. First place, Angel Wings 10 points. Second place, Bladebite Tiger 8 points. Third place, Fairy Tail Team B 6 points. Fourth place, Lamia Scale 4 points. Fifth place, Mermaid Heel 3 points. Sixth place, Fairy Tail Team at 2 points. 7th place, Blue Pegasus 1 point. 8th place, Quattro Cerberus 0 points. The first place is well deserved. Ultir bombarded and scored hundreds of points in the last 20 minutes. It is naturally the first place in the ranking. The second place can only be said to be lucky. Rufus of Bladebite Tiger directly got 6 points with a memory shape, and naturally the points were deducted less than others. The subsequent ranking was completely due to the occasional points in the first 10 minutes, and it was not so ugly after the proportional deduction. Although that's what they said, they were in a particularly bad mood. After all, they were bombarded for 20 minutes. Who can stand this? Because there was no targeting by Raventail, the 2 teams of Fairy Tail Guild did not come to the bottom. Since then, the first day of competition has ended perfectly. Rufus of the Sword-Bite Tiger has worked very hard. Although he didn't get the first place, he also got the second place score. Look forward to their performance next time, and hope they can bring us more exciting performances. Jabati made the final roll call. And the Angel Wing team, they continued their ranking in the preliminaries and became the first place again with powerful magic. Then he commented on each team. The contestants left. Then there was a short break. Ha ha ha, I didn't intend to be so ruthless. Ultir went back to the weighing area. He scratched his head a little embarrassedly, mainly because he saw that Rufus was not happy. He accidentally got a little carried away. We originally planned to let them win in the competition phase and play hard in the battle phase. Urza laughed. So far, they're still playing the role of being friendly with the regular guild. So we plan to let them win from the beginning. Advertisement I didn't expect. Why don't you give them a little face in the battle phase? Merity smoothed her long hair. It seems boring to win all the time. It would be great if we lost all the first few days. In this way, they can win all the games in the next few days. According to the current scores, we can lose if we meet Fairy Tail Team A, but forget about other teams. Urza thought about it. The score of Fairy Tail Team A is a bit low. If we really meet them by chance, we can give them a hand. It shouldn't be such a coincidence, Wendy said so. The organizers shouldn't let them meet by chance. Several people nodded, please give flowers. Then several people began to wait, hoping to be selected to participate in the competition. Next is the battle part. After a short break, Jabati enthusiastically announced the second half of the game. Hualala. The audience applauded and cheered enthusiastically, and the supporters of each guild held their breath in their hearts. Each team will participate in a game every day, and this is not a knockout round. The two contestants will be decided by the organizers, and there should be interesting battle pairs. Well, the battle list has just come to my hand. Jabati picked up the battle list. Under everyone's expectant eyes, he looked at the names of the two opponents, the first battle of the first day. This battle is particularly interesting, and I believe it will satisfy many people. They are Fairy Tail A-Team, Lucy Heartfilia. The life was announced. On the A-Team side, Lucy held her head high and walked towards the arena without stopping. Come on Lucy, I believe you can definitely defeat your opponents and let them see the power of the Fairy Tail Guild. Natsu cheered for her from behind. After 7 years of training, everyone's strength has been greatly improved, even Lucy should not be underestimated. Man, come on Lucy, come on. Several members cheered for her. At the same time, in the audience, Makarov called on everyone to cheer for Lucy. As long as we don't meet Team B in Angel Wings, our chances of winning are still quite high. Makarov said. Among all the teams, Angel Wings is full of unknowns, and it will be a bad match no matter who it meets. As for the other team, the organizer can't let the two sides fight each other. That kind of fight is not worth watching. Her opponent is Angel Wings. The sky is falling. After hearing the name of the opponent's guild, Lucy wanted to cry without tears. She was afraid of meeting someone from Angel Wings. Natsu and his team members in the waiting area and several achievements of her team blew air to connect after hearing it. Such a bad pairing, and in the viewing area, Makarov turned gray and white. What he feared was what he came to. Versus August Vermilion. There's a chance. Lucy wanted to cry when she heard about the battle against the guild. But after hearing about the opponent, she suddenly became 100 times more energetic. Chapter 126. Lucy vs August, Celestial Spirit Clothes Taurus Form. If it were someone else, Lucy really couldn't say she could win, but if the opponent was just a 7-year-old child, she was still quite confident. What good luck. Lucy should have no problem dealing with a child. Lasana was very envious. It would be great if she played, she would also be confident dealing with a child. Is it that little kid who made up the numbers? Laxus was surprised. How should I put it? Lucy's luck was really great, she chose the most difficult guild. But she faced the easiest child, he really couldn't imagine how she would lose. Wow. Lucy is really lucky, it looks like we will win this match. Ha ha ha, although August is a member of Angel Wings, a child is a child, this match is a sure win. I didn't expect our luck to be so good, dealing with a child, hee hee hee. The members in the spectator seats. They all laughed and applauded, and it was obvious that they thought this, 493, match was a sure win. However, the haze on Makarov's face did not disappear. He knew very well that, as the child of Mr. Wu Ming and the first-generation Mavis, even if he was only 7 years old, he would definitely be very fishy. I didn't feel happy that Lucy picked the child, maybe he would lose. I didn't expect to pick August, the Wu Ming's here. When they heard the chosen opponent, they couldn't help laughing. It might be difficult for August to deal with Natsu, but Lucy. Irene didn't finish her words. Others knew what it meant. It was not difficult for August to deal with Lucy with his strength. If he gets too playful, he might lose. No one knows a son better than his mother. Mavis knew her son's personality very well, especially a child of this age. It would be difficult to get him to fight honestly. If he thought of something unhappy, he might just give up and admit defeat. Let's see. Wu Ming said, it doesn't matter whether they win or not. In this great magic fighting performance, it's useless even if they win first place. Just have fun. Are you kidding? What's so good about such a duel? Is there still a need for a competition? A 7-year-old kid will be scared and cry when he goes on stage? I don't know what Angel Wings is doing. Boring. Such a match is too boring. The audience shook their heads. Jabati said that this was a wonderful duel. I really don't understand how this person has the nerve to say this. An adult beats a child. What's so good about this? It's better to change someone. No one is optimistic about August. In everyone's eyes, a 7-year-old child can't win. Some people even plan to take the opportunity to go out and buy something to eat. Here in the waiting area, Urza and the other girls also looked strange. Whether it's a let down, or let August play, it's just a casual talk, but I didn't expect the organizer to actually let him play, have fun. The girls thought about it. They still thought that August should have more fun. If it were them, they might let Lucy win the game. But what about August? He is still young and at the age of crazy play, it is difficult for him to play. Advertisement so, let him have more fun. The big deal is that we can wait for the next game to let him win. Okay. August raised his arms. He rushed into the arena with cheers, his face full of innocent smiles. Walala. Although the audience thought this game was boring. But they still applauded the child. After all, no one wanted to say bad things to this child. Hello, Sister Lucy. After rushing into the arena, August greeted Lucy enthusiastically and didn't seem to consider her as an opponent. It was more like a very familiar good friend chatting. Hello, brother. Lucy was a little eager to move. After being greeted like this, she couldn't help but respond with a smile. Both of you, come forward. Pumpkinhead was the referee. He stretched out his arms to signal the two players to come closer. Because from now on, the entire arena will become a battle area, so please leave the venue. The time limit is 30 minutes. If you can make the opponent unable to fight within this time, you will win. Then the first game, begin. Bang, the sound of the gong marked the beginning of the game. Pumpkinhead hurriedly ran to a distance and handed over the entire venue to the two players. I'm sorry, brother, I'm also for the victory of our guild, so I can only let you be eliminated. Lucy apologized, then he took out the golden key. Open it. The gate of Taurus. Taurus appeared. He waved a huge double-edged axe and swept towards August. The power was so great that it created a strong wind. Beef. August saw Taurus. He couldn't help but recall the beef his father brought him to eat, and his saliva couldn't help but flow down. Bang. Maybe he thought he was still in the battle. August reacted quickly, raised one hand and gently pinched it. Just pinch Taurus's axe blade. He can pinch the axe blade without getting hurt. Is his defense so strong? Lucy was a little stunned. Advertisement, she thought the victory would be decided in one blow, but she didn't expect that Taurus, who claimed to have super strength, would have his blade pinched. 14. The weapon was pinch. Taurus roared like a bull, and his arms bulged with blue veins to show his strength. He had to take back the weapon. Kakaka. He burst out with power. The ground under his feet was crushed by the power, which was enough to show that he had used a lot of force. Taurus, what are you doing? Hurry up and get rid of him, Lucy shouted. Is Taurus acting? The celestial spirit, who possesses brute force, is controlled by a child. It's not like acting. Miss Lucy. It's not that I'm not strong enough, this kid is so strong, moo. Taurus is so wronged. It admits that it underestimated August, but now he has almost used all his strength. But the axe is like embedded. No matter how hard he tries, he can't take the weapon back. Is it true? Lucy couldn't believe it. Holding the Taurus key in her hand, she stabbed it at her shoulder. Celestial spirit clothes Taurus form, transformed instantly. The clothes on Lucy's body turned black and white, and she held a black peach heart whip in her hand. Snap. Without saying a word, she whipped August. The whip can be long or short. With the help of the Taurus Celestial Spirit Clothes 4.1, her strength has been greatly improved. If this whip hits you, you'll probably be torn to pieces. Transformed, August quickly let go of the axe blade and jumped back 2 meters away. The whip hit the ground with a bang, The place where August was standing originally had a hole as thick as his arm. August looked at Lucy happily. Transformation is so fun. It's so cool. Lucy summoned Celestial Spirit to attack at the beginning of the battle. Our little friend August didn't move, just pinched the axe blade with 2 fingers and controlled the axe in his hand. However, no one expected that Lucy actually had this trick, using Celestial Spirit clothes to put on her body. The exciting battle continues, Jabati reported live. Although there was some exaggeration in this statement, the audience didn't care so much. It just needs to look good. Chapter 127. August suddenly doesn't want to play anymore, so one strike decides the outcome. The long whip continued to whip. In the Taurus form, the whip was very powerful and its flexibility was greatly improved. On the opposite side, August stood not far away. He dodged the whip again and was not hit even once. Earth vibration. Seeing that she could not hit anyone, Lucy clenched her fist and used her strange power on the ground. There was a loud earthquake. The ground in front was shattered, affecting the place where August was standing. Huh? August was surprised. The ground under his feet was suddenly shattered, and his whole body was shaking among the rubble. Before he could stabilize his body, Lucy's figure rushed up and came to August in a few seconds. Lucy Iron Fist. The moment she came in front of him, Lucy quickly charged her fist and smashed it towards August's stomach with the blessing of strange power. Boom. The fist hit the abdomen with a sound of breaking through the air. August only felt his stomach churning and pain spread throughout his body. His eyes were wide open. Bloodshot appeared in the white eyeballs, and the body was knocked out with a 25-degree angle. After turning several times in the air, August landed on the ground with a thump, then stepped back several steps without being able to stand steadily. Then he covered his abdomen with both hands. He fell to his knees, coughing with his head pressed against the ground. Lucy was stunned. Is her strength so strong, or is August too weak? Are you okay? Lucy asked instinctively. Before she finished the last word, a stone pillar suddenly protruded from the ground. It rushed towards Lucy at a high speed. Bang! Lucy never expected that this kid would use conspiracy and trickery. The stone pillar hit her chest. He knocked her away, but now her body and speed have greatly improved. Adjusted her posture in the air. Supporting the ground with one hand, he did a backflip and stood up again. It's my turn to fight back. And August stood up. He rubbed his stomach, then opened his 5 fingers and pointed them at Lucy on the opposite side, and clenched them hard. Swoosh. Stone pillars suddenly shot out from the ground on both sides of Lucy's body, attacking her from both sides. Clenched his fist. Blasted hard. Lucy was mentally prepared, and this time she had no intention of dodging the stone pillars. He clenched his right fist and smashed it hard. The fist collided with the stone pillar, and the stone pillar broke with a clatter. Then he punched another stone pillar to pieces. Advertisement. Open it, Cancer, the gate of Cancer. Lucy took back Taurus. Directly summoned the celestial spirit of Cancer. Shrimp. Cancer had a crab-like hairstyle and used 2 scissors for civilian use. The moment he appeared, he cut towards August, Windblade. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. August raised his hand knife and waved it at Cancer many times in a row. A series of crescent-shaped blade waves were released. He plowed the ground and slashed at Cancer from top to bottom in 3 directions. Crack, crack, crack. But Cancer is not simple. Under Lucis magic, the scissors directly cut the Windblade. And its figure is still approaching, shadow magic. Just as Cancer's scissors were about to touch his body, August's whole body suddenly turned black. It disappeared like a water stain. Cancer failed to hit the target and stood there looking for an opponent. Lucy also looked around vigilantly. From Earth attribute to Wind attribute, and the shadow magic just used. There are already 3 types. What attribute is this kid? Ironblade, however, just when he was confused. A figure suddenly rushed out from the shadow under Cancer's feet. It was August who was hiding. The moment he appeared, an iron blade appeared in his right hand and he swung it at Cancer's neck. Tear. The speed was too fast, and the attack was sharp and swift. Cancer didn't have time to react. He only felt a chill on his neck and his head was separated from his body. The body turned into starlight and disappeared. Cancer. Lucis' heart suddenly tightened. Although Celestial Spirit would not die, it was very uncomfortable to watch his head being chopped off. Celestial Magic Meteor. It's not over yet. Starlight suddenly lit up on August's body, and after the light blue magic power emerged. His body disappeared instantly. Lucis' pupils shrank. This speed was already beyond her ability to catch with the naked eye. Super Advanced Destruction Magic Decomposition. Just then, August's voice came from behind. That moment, Lucy felt her scalp tingling, and she turned around and jumped back to try to distance herself again. However, a small slap still hit her. Instantly, Lucy felt that her limbs were not her own. This feeling lasted for 2 seconds. When she looked again, she found that August was as tall as herself. Advertisement. What's going on? Our Lucy contestant has become 3. And their heights and statures have been reduced. What's going on? Jabati was reporting live. There was disbelief and doubt in his voice, and his tone was full of surprise. When Lucy heard it, she was stunned. She looked around and found that there were 2 more Lucys. 014309425 Filu 183,570,550. And these 2 Lucys were very short. I split into 3? What kind of magic ability is this? Are you kidding me? The 3 Lucys were chattering. The audience was in an uproar. I didn't expect this battle to be so exciting. It was really fun to go back and forth. Natsu of Team A grinned. This magic is the same as Gear DOS, but I was broken into hundreds and thousands of pieces at that time. Natsu shouted. This magic is the same as Gear DOS, and it seems to be more carefully controlled. No way. This kid has used several kinds of magic. Gray just felt a toothache. I thought Lucy was lucky and could draw a sure win opponent. But now it seems. August is also 220, not simple, and the magic type that appears and disappears mysteriously is enough. In the audience, Makarov was also sluggish. He knew August was not easy to deal with. So this battle was intended for research. It turned out that August had more than one type of magic, so how to analyze it? Is he going to lose? Someone in the guild muttered. Really couldn't imagine. Is he really going to lose to a child? On the field, the 3 Lucys quarreled. Everyone wants to dominate the battle, but there is only one key, and it is difficult to decide who to summon. It's boring. At this time, August suddenly said something. The 3 Lucys on the opposite side were stunned, not understanding what he meant by this. Dit. August clapped his hands, and the 3 Lucys became one again. I don't want to play anymore. Sister Lucy, how about we decide the winner with one move? August yawned. He was a little tired of playing, so he started fighting without killing anyone. Lucy's physical strength is not very strong. If you hit her hard, she will be hurt. Is it? Lucy's face twitched. If she hadn't recovered just now, maybe she could have been defeated easily. As a result, at this critical moment, the opponent suddenly didn't want to play anymore. Feeling not valued at all. Okay, then decide the winner with one move. But Lucy didn't give up. Decided to use the most powerful magic to solve August and get 10 points for the guild. Chapter 128. Nuclear Explosion Attack. Special move. Hearing the conversation in the field, Jabati also excitedly reported the situation live. After the fierce battle, our 2 players made an agreement for the next move. I believe everyone is looking forward to it. I wonder what kind of magic they will use to decide the outcome. Jabati kept announcing. The audience saluted. staring at the two people on the screen waiting for this peak showdown. Then I'm here. Lucy took a deep breath to adjust her state. Her hands formed claws, hanging symmetrically in front of her. A golden light appeared between her hands. Go to the far sky and count all the shining stars. Show me my true body, and I will hold them all. Accompanied by the chanting of the spell, Lucy's body was enveloped by light. The magic power between heaven and earth surged wildly. The atmosphere on the scene became more and more tense, and the heaven and earth seemed to be moved. On the other side, August yawned. He tilted his head and looked at the light on Lucy's body. After thinking for a while, he stretched out his hand and grasped it. Directly from the empty air, a black slender knight sword appeared. Then the magic power on his body surged. Step, 1 foot stepped forward. The gray energy shield spread out in all directions with him as the center. Covering the entire arena. On the energy shield, the faint lines crisscrossed. And his body was also covered by the lines. This is. In the waiting area. Seeing the scenery of the arena, Natsu couldn't help swallowing his saliva. Hey, it's Mr. Wu Ming's. Gray took a deep breath. Fear flashed in his eyes, thinking back to the time when Galuna Island sniped the Dark Six demons. Mr. Wu Ming also used this move. Ta. Natsu gritted his teeth. I remember that this move destroyed half of Galuna Island. That kind of power. He didn't dare to resist it now, but now this kid actually planned to use that move. At the same time, watching the audience, Wu Ming couldn't help but gasp when he saw this scene. When did this kid learn it? That's right. August is about to release his ultimate move, the nuclear explosion. But he never taught this kid. Is your life in danger? Irene certainly knew how powerful that move was and asked worriedly. It's not time to show your cards yet. Advertisement. Killing Lucy will only make Mavis sad, and will also completely make the Fairy Tale Guild hostile. Although she doesn't care, but we still have to consider the relationship with Mavis. From the perspective of magic power, this move will kill Lucy, but the super magic Lucy is using now is not something that ordinary people can resist. When two big moves explode, they should cancel each other out to some extent. Injuries are inevitable, but safety issues should not be a concern. To put it bluntly, a nuclear explosion is the detonation of released magic. August's magic is very strong, but after all, he is young, and Renzai's super magic is not given for nothing. It should be no problem. In the arena, the decisive battle between the two is about to be completed. I am the master of the stars, and I will open the door to the wilderness with you. 88 stars in the sky, shine, ding. Lucy opened her eyes. A golden magic circle appeared in her eyes. I am atomic. Boom. 2 sky-high rays of light pierced the sky. The earth was shaking. All the audience in the audience huddled on the ground, and the light illuminated the entire city. Everyone was stunned. This kind of power. The contestants of the Sword-Bite Tiger looked at the light covering the entire arena. Their faces were covered with cold sweat. I don't know when my back was full of chills, and I felt the shaking of the ground with a horrified face. If it were us, I'm afraid we wouldn't be able to hold on. Oruga's face was moved. The vibration from the ground could easily feel the terrible power. If he were on the field, he would lose miserably. This is not the point. The point is that this is just a child of angel wings. You don't think the other ones are worse than this child, do you? Rufus's defense was broken. He didn't think this child was the strongest player. Ultir in the secret link was also elusive. Angel wings. Rogue and Sting didn't dare to be careless. Seeing this level of magic, they all knew that the strength of this guild might be beyond imagination. The earthquake lasted for 3 seconds. When the sky-high light disappeared, everyone had time to check the battle situation in the arena. Among them, Lucy hung her arms, her body bent and panting, and bright red blood kept flowing down her feet. Her arms were stained red. He raised his head with difficulty, and then he saw that her face was covered in blood. Her clothes were also tattered. On the other side, August was not so embarrassed, except that his clothes and face were a little dirty. There was nothing wrong with other places, but this did not mean that he was the winner, but August fell asleep on the ground. Advertisement. He released all his magic power, detonated in the arena, and the direction he detonated was upward. The arena under his feet was also within his protection. So the ground was not blown into a pit except for some charring. Victory. The winner of the first game is Fairy Tale team, Lucy Heartfilia. The referee immediately announced the end of the game. One side lay on the ground motionless, and the other one looked particularly miserable. But it was still standing. Natsu and several others rushed to the arena. Looking at Lucy with blood on her face, he was worried, but he didn't dare to touch her body, for fear of worsening the injury. Urza also appeared here. Squatting on the ground, pinching August's little face, shaking left and right to wake him up. August frowned. Reluctantly, he reached out to pat his hand that was playing tricks on him, and his eyes were not asleep at the same time. He was obviously still asleep. Really, after releasing all the magic power, he still learned his father's moves so crudely. Urza was helpless. She could only pick him up and prepare to take him back to have a good rest. Urza, he was stopped just as he was about to leave. Turning around, he saw Natsu grinning. I will play in the competition tomorrow, let's fight it out. Urza raised an eyebrow. I don't know what it will be, but I promise you. Anyway, the competition part is not important, then let her play. The first game is over. After that, it was the duel between other groups, which was not as good as the fight between Lucy and August. After all, August and Lucy's special moves are very cool. Qian Zhao Zhao. The pillar of light that shot up into the sky. Anyone who has seen it will definitely not forget it. Just like that, the two parts of the first day are over. The scores are as follows. First place, Swordbite Tiger 18 points. Second place, Fairy Tail Team B 16 points. Third place, Fairy Tail Team at 12 points. Fourth place, Blue Pegasus 11 points. Fifth place, Angel Wings 10 points. Sixth place, Lamia Scale 4 points. Seventh place, Mermaid Heel 3 points. Eighth place, Quattro Cerberus 0 points. In the battle part, Fairy Tail was particularly powerful, although Lucy from Team A scored because August didn't want to play. But Mistogan from Team B was very attentive. Mistogan, who had practiced for 7 years, was very powerful. Although he had no magic power in his body, he relied on those magic wands to defeat Jura from Lamia Scale. It was a big upset. Fairy Tail, which had always been regarded as a joke, has risen this time. It proved their strength with strength. Chapter 129. Come and be my daughter. As for Wu Ming's Angel Wings, because it didn't score, it fell from the first place to the 5th place. But anyone with a discerning eye can see it. In the battle part, if August had been more serious, they might still have won. Although they lost in the battle, but no one thought that Angel Wings was not good, and they all looked forward to the game on the second day. On this side, Wu Ming couldn't be angry because of such a small matter. He had no interest in Fiore's first place. On the one hand, he came here because of Zeref's request. On the other hand, he was looking forward to the Dragon King festival. He really wanted to know, after Natsu and the others had trained for 7 years, could they defeat ordinary dragons? If they could, Wu Ming had to think about it carefully. He had to reveal his identity at the right opportunity, and then lead the 2 continents to launch a general attack on Ishgar. After all, he was the big villain hiding at the end. The game was over. Wu Ming took the girls to stroll around the city, eat something or buy some clothes. That person is a member of the Sword-Bite Tiger. He was bored. Uru raised his head and motioned everyone to look in a certain direction. Celestial Spirit Wizard. Wu Ming took 2 bites of barbecue. He glanced at the woman that Wu Lu pointed at, and that person was Yukino of the Sky 780 Envoy Wing. She was a girl who could summon the 13th gate. This girl gives me a feeling that she is incompatible with the Sword-Bite Tiger, and she should not be suitable for that kind of place. Wu Lu didn't know how to describe it. It might be because of her personality. This girl seemed to be forced to stay there, and she was completely unsuitable. The atmosphere of the Sword-Bite Tiger is like that, and they will be honest after being beaten up, Wu Ming replied. After hearing this, Wu Lu pondered. He walked towards Yukino decisively and sat down directly in front of her. Who are you? Yukino didn't understand. This person was not familiar at all except that she looked good. My name is Wu Lu. I am from the Angel Wing, little girl. Are you willing to be my daughter? Wu Lu asked. Wu Ming. Mavis. Celine. Irene. Several women were confused. Their foreheads were full of black lines. They couldn't understand what Uru said at this time. And Wu Ming was even more confused. Advertisement. What's going on? Is Uru going to be a white beard, taking a daughter at any time? Isn't Meredy her goddaughter, now taking a daughter? Angel Wing. A strong enemy. After hearing where she came from, Yukino exuded a cold breath. Are you insulting me? Yukino added. For no reason, he wants her to be a daughter. Is this Angel Wing person provoking? Of course not. I just think you and I have a good relationship, and your hair is the color I like. Uru denied. She didn't know why. She felt that this girl was quite suitable to be her daughter. Why insult me? We Sword-Bite Tigers and you are mortal enemies, Yukino scolded. She worshipped Sword-Bite Tigers. What the guild regarded as an enemy, that was her enemy. How about making a bet? No one from your guild will win even 1 round against ours. If I win, you will be my daughter, and after that, the Angel Wings can grant you 1 wish. Uru believes in his own judgment. Take the initiative to make a bet. 1 more condition, I hope to see my long-lost sister. Yukino hesitated for a few seconds. If she refuses directly, it means she does not believe in the power of the Sword-Bite Tiger. Agreeing felt like it was too much for her. She simply added a condition. Anyway, she hadn't seen her sister for many years, and she really didn't believe that this person could be found. If it was really possible, it wouldn't matter if there were just 1 more godmother. Wow. Sisters. Uru didn't deny it after hearing it, but was very excited, I promise you. Really agreed. Yukino couldn't understand what this woman meant. You must see my sister Sorono before the end of the Great Magic Fighting Ensemble, otherwise it won't count. Yukino decisively added a deadline. She really didn't believe that Angel Wings had such a great power that they could find someone at will. No big deal. Uru narrowed his eyes. Angel Wings' sphere of influence covered 3 continents. She really didn't believe that they couldn't find someone. By then, you sisters will be my goddaughters, and Tian Niang will guarantee that you will have no worries about food and clothing. At this point, Uru smiled and hugged Yukino, touching her white hair and smiling. Not yet. Yukino was a little embarrassed by this sudden enthusiasm. But she had a very strange feeling. Advertisement. It was like the warmth produced when one was frozen to the bone in the ice and snow. It's getting late, good child, don't stay outside all the time. After Wu Lu gave a few words of advice, he also left with a look back every few steps, and his reluctant eyes made Yukino's calm heart ripple. Adopted 2 daughters. Wu Lu's pace became faster and faster, and his eyes were particularly beautiful. Although I don't understand why you want to adopt a goddaughter, you should know that she is obsessed with her sister, Wu Haoming said. After hearing this, Wu Lu's eyes lit up with golden light, thinking about which person she knew had white hair. The angel of the dark 6 demons, Wu Ming told her. After hearing this, Wu Lu's smile froze on her face. She remembered that the dark 6 demons landed on Galuna Island. At that time, it seemed that they were all destroyed by Wu Ming, right? The thief god didn't let me have more daughters, it's too much. Yukino's sister seemed to have died, doesn't that mean failure is inevitable? Not all of them died, right? I remember that during the 7 years on Tinlong Island, Lucy said that her zodiac key was given to her after the Galuna Island incident, right? Mavis was particularly angry when she saw her best friend. She couldn't bear it. Really? Uru's eyes widened, staring at Wu Ming, waiting for an answer. He has the final say on the angel's wings. He should be in the Ilbara's empire in the western continent, and his identity should be a new member of the 12 shields of the Holy Guard. Of course, Wu Ming would not kill people indiscriminately. That Kong Nai is indeed still alive, but has joined Zeref's personal guard department. You know, Zeref's 12 shields of the Holy Guard have always had insufficient personnel. That Kong Nai joined by chance. Zeref had also reported the situation during the 7 years on Tinlong Island. Then contact them quickly and send them over, Uru said. Take a deep breath, Wu Ming sighed a little speechlessly. But he still contacted Zeref to see if it was convenient for him. In 2 days, after receiving a positive answer, Wu Ming calmed Ulu's excited mind and continued to stroll with the women. They played until very late. Due to the celebration, many shops were open all night. If it weren't for the game tomorrow, Irene, the few people could stroll until dawn without getting tired. Luckily there was a game. Wu Ming persuaded the women to stay and go back to their dormitory to rest. Chapter 130. The 4 dragon slayers hanging behind the chariot. The next day, the lively atmosphere continued, accompanied by the dazzling colors of fireworks hitting the sky. The competition part has begun. Okay, the second day of the long-awaited Grand Magic Fighting Competition has begun. The guest of the second day is Mr. Jason, a famous reporter from Magic Weekly. So, the competition part has begun, and the segment is called Chariot. Jabati is still full of energy reporting, in the arena. On the screens, there's a long chariot which is slowly driving around the city. The goal of this game is to reach the end smoothly without falling off the connected chariots. Because the chariot under your feet is always moving forward, a moment of negligence will lead to mistakes, passing through the tourist attraction of Crocus. Which team will be the first to reach the end of Thomas Brow? The audience at the venue can watch the race of each contestant through the magic crystal image. The rules and content of the game have been explained. The audience cheered enthusiastically, and their eyes were fixed on the image to see their favorite contestants. By the way, Mr. Yujima, no one expected this kind of scene. After the live report began, Jabati said in an incredible tone. Team A's several members waiting had dark faces, and were obviously a little speechless about their players. Why does Natsu have to play? Lucy complained. Gray had a dark face. Didn't Natsu say yesterday that he would fight Urza in the competition? Elfman complained. Didn't he think it was a fight with Tank? Lasana covered her forehead and shook her head. As soon as she heard the name, Tank, she should know the content of the game. Natsu was really stupid. Several players were speechless. Who can I complain to? He knows the name but doesn't want to play. Isn't this a free gift? Nani. Natsu from Team A Fairy Tail is far behind the leading player and has entered a state of exhaustion. Not only that, Gajeel from Team B and Sejong from Sword Tiger are very close to him. At the same time, Urza from Angel Wings, all 4 of them are in a state of exhaustion. What is going on, Mr. Yujima? Jabati reported. In the picture, 3 men and 1 woman took steps with difficulty, and it took them a long time to take a step. Not as fast as the speed of the chariot. This is the end. Our shortcomings have been made public. Advertisement Irene's face was full of depression. Why don't these girls take precautions against this competition? August can obviously be allowed to play. Maybe we should be glad. It's not us dragons participating in this kind of competition. Celine couldn't help but shrug. Uru thought about that picture, it was really chilling. Fortunately, they were not embarrassed. Sure enough, they're all qualified. Wu Ming held his chin and watched quietly, thinking in his heart, how many dragons should be sent for the Dragon King festival? On the chariot. Why am I dizzy too? Gajeel felt as if his whole body was sucked out. That feeling made him uncomfortable. He even felt dizzy and wanted to faint. If the speed of this chariot was faster, he would not be able to do it. That means you finally become a real dragon slayer. Sting was so uncomfortable that he couldn't move. He sneered. He laughed at Gajeel vaguely. Damn Natsu. Urza was also in pain. But at least she knew her gender and didn't show the same expression as Natsu and the other 2. She stretched out her hand and kept trying to use space magic. Wanted to use it to teleport. Why are you vomiting, scolding me? Natsu was almost unconscious from the discomfort. This level of discomfort is really too painful. If it weren't for the sake of gaining points, I would have given up long ago. It seems that Angel Wings also has dragon slayers. Sting looked at Urza with a half smile. So, does your guild really have dragons? Sting asked seriously. Yes, more than one dragon. I remember Urza's mother is a dragon. Gajeel took the initiative to say it first. He remembered that Natsu and the others said that the core members of the guild were all dragons. A real dragon slayer can easily slay a dragon, not just a dying dragon. Urza took a difficult step. At the same time, she also tore open the wounds of Sting and Rogue, directly pointing out their so-called dragon-slaying lies. How do you know? Sting's face changed in shock. He guaranteed that there were only a handful of people who knew this secret, and it was obvious that Angel Wings was not among them. But how could she know? Are you sure your dragon is dead? It's easy for that kind of creature to affect your memory. Do you want to see your dragon again? Urza stopped. She didn't plan to go on, just let the chariot take her in. Can you let us see the dragon? Gajeel couldn't help it at first. Although he didn't say it on the surface, he actually wanted to see it. It doesn't matter. Sting didn't reveal his thoughts. Stopped. Advertisement, it's really ugly. If you can't use the power, just give up. You must embarrass yourself. Sting has his own pride. I want to ask you a question. Why do you want to participate in this grand magic tournament? In my impression, Fairy Tail Guild doesn't care about the strength of the guild at all, and never takes the judgment of the world into consideration. Fairy Tail Guild should be more self-centered. Sting looked at the two people who were still insisting. A sincere question. Urza next to him tilted her head. She didn't have much ambition to win or lose in this grand magic tournament. However, Natsu and the other two worked hard. For the sake of our partners, they have been waiting for our return for 7 years. Even though there is no news, they still search for the traces of Tenro Island day after day. No matter how painful, how sad, even if they are treated as idiots, they have been patient and protect the guild. Even for the sake of our partners, we must win, Natsu explained while crawling. Gajeel next to him had the same attitude, after hearing this. Sting and Urza were stunned. Ridiculous. As long as you are strong enough, it doesn't matter if you don't have partners. Since you want 1 or 2 points, I will give them to you. We will continue to win. Sting was silent for 2 seconds. Then he pitifully mocked the two people and turned around and jumped off the chariot. Voluntarily gave up the points of this competition. Without a partner to support each other, you will always be alone and helpless, Bylong's child. Change your mind as soon as possible. Urza did not laugh at anything. She agreed with Natsu's words very much. The strength of an individual is not really strong. Only when there are partners around. Then it can be considered flawless. Even the Angel Wings will not give up Carla because she has no fighting power. In the words of his father, no matter how strong a person is, they all have weaknesses. We should not hide our weaknesses, but help our family. When the weakness is exposed, let the family protect you. You can preach to me after you beat me, Sting sneered. In his opinion, the Angel Wings are nothing big. Chapter 131. Denunciation. Give me back Goddess Jenny. Sting gave up. Other players reached the finish line one after another, and the rest were competing for the 5th, 6th, and 7th places. But it would be more accurate to say the 5th and 6th places. Although Urza did not get off the chariot, she did not crawl forward awkwardly. She was planning to be the 7th place. Crossing the finish line. Fairy Tail A Team Natsu 5th, Fairy Tail B Team Gajeel 6th. Angel Wings Urza won 7th place. The whole audience cheered. It may be because of Natsu's words and his unyielding efforts that were recognized. Many people's impression of Fairy Tail, which was the last place, changed. And Urza silently returned to the waiting area. You've worked hard. Although they did not fight hard for points, no one would say anything. After all, they are all family. It's a bit impulsive. August should be allowed to participate in this session. Urza smiled awkwardly. If it was August, then the first place of 287 would definitely belong to them. It's okay. If you want to score, you can be a little more serious, but we do have to get some points. Ultir said with a smile. Looking at the scores of each team, they're a bit low. We have to win a few games. The scores of each team. First place, Sword-Bite Tiger 18 points. Second place, Fairy Tail Team B 18 points. Third place, Fairy Tail Team 15 points. Fourth place, Blue Pegasus 15 points. Fifth place, Angel Wings 11 points. Sixth place, Mermaid Heel 11 points. Seventh place, Lamia Scale 10 points. Eighth place, Quattro Cerberus 10 points. The scores of each team are highly overlapping. There is not much difference between them, any competition link. Or the battle part can change the ranking. When will Wendy go on stage? How about letting her go on the competition tomorrow? In the audience seats, Carla was a little listless. She was still thinking about watching Wendy's overwhelming performance. But Wendy was never selected. The organizer is very curious about our guild and will definitely let every player play. After all, this is a good opportunity to get to know us. Wu Ming was not in a hurry. The nobles of Kingdom of Fury are very controlling and will definitely not allow uncontrolled guilds to appear on the mainland. It's a rare opportunity to see the strength clearly. I will definitely not give up so easily. If there is a chance, I will definitely investigate one by one. Watch the game. Carla shook her tail. Sitting in Irene's arms, she continued to watch the battle in the arena in silence. Next is the battle part that everyone is looking forward to. The first game will be between Toby from Lamia Scale and Pascal from Quattro Cerberus. I hope they can bring us a wonderful game. Dog and Eagle. One runs on the ground, and the other flies in the sky. This game looks very interesting, but in fact the difference in strength is very big. That Pascal is very strong. Without even drinking, he easily defeated Toby. Easy victory. Thank you both players for the wonderful duel. Jabati announced the winner of the game. Then there was a short break. Advertisement, then everyone cheer up and watch the second game of the day together. The whole audience was waiting for the game to start. Elfman from Team Fairytale versus Jenny from Blue Pegasus. The players entered the arena, looking at the huge difference between the two players. A shocking picture appeared in the minds of countless people. Beauty and the Beast. Will the two players bring us a wild battle? Jabati also thought of this line at the first time. The Elfman was sturdy, standing there like a wild and rough beast. His broad arms gave people a different kind of abnormality. Looking at the opposite side, compared with Elfman, Jenny's figure is like an ant. These two people are really extremely different. It's worrying to watch. If Jenny is slapped, won't her back be broken? Come on, Elfman. Natsu has recovered from the chariot segment, he shouted loudly. Suddenly, many male audience members stared at him. If eyes could kill, Natsu might be dead. Don't be so loud, I shouldn't lose this game. Lucy quickly grabbed the excited Natsu. Didn't you see that many audiences are supporting Jenny? Shouting so loudly now will attract too much hatred. OSOSOS. Natsu wanted to shout a few more words. But Lucy and Lasana covered his mouth, so he couldn't shout even if he wanted to. Here, Wu Ming and a few others were also watching the game, although the first game was boring. But they didn't say anything. The opponents in the first and second rounds are different, I muttered. The Great Demon Fighting Ensemble in my memory. The first round should be the battle between Raventail and Lamia Scale. Raventail was not there. I thought it would be their Angel Wings, but it turned out to be a player from Quattro Cerberus. And the opponent in the second round was also different. Elfman actually faced Jenny, which means there is no chance to see the photo competition. I suddenly felt a little disappointed. However, I thought that the remaining team, Unused Wings, might encounter people from Team B. If it was Laxus or Gajeel, advertisement that would definitely be a good fight. If not, there would be no way. Although the others have good experience, it would not be good to fight. The battle begins. As a man, Elfman will definitely not take the initiative to attack girls. Let Jenny transform. He passively endured various attacks. Da. Jenny accepted the clothes that could provide appropriate heavy firepower and kept shooting at Elf. Unfortunately, the power was insufficient. No effective damage was done at all. Receive the soul of the Beast King, after being beaten for a long time. Elfman directly received the soul of the Beast King and smashed it with a very powerful force. With a bang. Although Jenny was prepared, she was still punched and flew to the wall of the arena. It hurts. You don't know how to be gentle with women? Jenny covered her waist and rubbed her shoulders. That punch really hurt. A man must win. Elfman took the initiative to attack this time. Punched out one punch after another, knocking Jenny to the ground again and again. Not long after, Jenny's beautiful face swelled up. It's too much. He beat our photo girl like this. I strongly request that he be disqualified from the competition. Woo, my goddess Jenny, your face is really too. 4.8 inches. Damn, it's Elfman. He kept hitting her in the face, which was too much. I can't believe it. Is Elfman a man? Elfman won? He should have won the cheers of the whole audience. But he was really abused. Especially when he saw the injuries on Jenny's face, he felt so distressed that he wanted to go down and take care of her himself. All the male audiences were denouncing. Listen to the cheers of the whole audience. Although Elfman won the game, he lost his life. Jabati also said this. Obviously there was no neutral party, and he couldn't believe that Elfman was so cruel. Man, Elfman didn't care so much. It was inevitable for victory, and he couldn't hit Jenny harder. That would make people even more crazy. Jenny had to go down to rest with a face full of bruises. Chapter 132. Fairytale B-Team vs Angel Wings. The second match is over. Elfman's beating up the photo girl will definitely be published in the newspapers. But these are just small matters. The audience was indignant for 2 minutes and then quickly calmed down. Looking forward to the next battle. The third match of the second day of the Great Magic Tournament is about to begin. I believe the audience is looking forward to the next battle. I am also looking forward to whether Angel Wings can fly again. I am also looking forward to whether Swordbite Tiger can maintain their Ace Guild ranking. Let's enter the third match, Jabati announced, looking down at the name of the match on the manuscript. The third match will be played by Fairytale B Team. Several members of Team B, hearing that their voices were finally heard, one or two of them raised their heads. Whether it is Angel Wings or Swordbite Tiger, they are the opponents I want to meet the most. Gajeel was in high spirits. As for the remaining teams, as long as they are not Mermaid Heel, there will be no problem. Let me play, whether it is against Angel Wings or Swordbite Tiger. Laxus was also eager to move. The one he wanted to fight the most was Urza from Angel Wings, but others were also fine. Saber-Eyed Tiger was also the strongest guild at the moment. It was okay to fight them. Then let U-25 go on the field. I don't really want to fight with anyone anyway, Mirajane said. Mistogan nodded silently. Although he had become much stronger, he still didn't want to fight Angel Wings alone. Angel Wings' several players here were also looking forward to it. As long as they don't fight Mermaid Heel, it's fine. If they can go to Fairy Tail, that would be the best. Urza was looking forward to it happily. Hope to hear her name. Mirajane Strauss. Players enter. Mirajane walked out depressed. She hoped she could just make up the numbers. Rather than do it herself. After all, she would be very ugly after the transformation, and her personality would change drastically. She's fighting. Angel Wings, they're fighting. Fairy Tail and Angel Wings are indeed fighting. It's a pity that Mirajane, who's on the field, doesn't want to fight, especially against Angel Wings. Merity. Choose a candidate. Merity in the passage also walked out speechlessly. She doesn't want to fight either. It would be best if teammates could help, but unfortunately there is no such rule in this great magic battle. Uproar. The audience exclaimed. The once strongest guild is facing the most mysterious guild. They are looking forward to it. I don't know what kind of matchup these two players can bring. Advertisement, come on, Mirajane, beat Angel Wings. Juvia shouted loudly. Cheer for Mirajane in the waiting area. Show your true ability and let the people of Angel Wings see that we are different from before. Laxus clenched his fist. Although he was not chosen, he was still very excited. Hope to win. The members of Team A were also excited. So lucky, I have always wanted to fight with the opponent again, but I didn't expect Mirajane to be so lucky. Gray muttered sourly. How he wished it would be him on the field. Come on Mirajane. Natsu was also very excited. This opportunity is great, if he can fight against Angel Wing. In the audience, Wu Ming and others finally cheered up. I didn't expect to fight against Fairy Tail first. What do you think of this battle? Mavis looked at the arena with special interest. This made the girls stunned. I understand that you were very confident in Fairy Tail, but Merity is not weak. Uru reminded deeply. I don't understand why Mavis would ask such a question. Can't you see the difference between the two? If it's Laxus or Gajeel, I can't say who will win or lose. If it's just Mirajane, Celine didn't finish her words. Actually, she understood what was hidden behind it. Mirajane has received Tartaro's demon, but her strength will not be greatly improved. Irene analyzed rationally. Merity has lightning dragon slaying magic, and she may be restrained if she encounters Laxus. But Mirajane is not to say that she underestimates her, but there is really no comparison. Merity can transform into a dragon after all. But, this battle will definitely be very exciting, especially since both of them are so explosive. Wu Ming could not deny it. Mirajane's demon soul is very strong. Her physical skills must be very powerful, but Merity is not bad either. The two of them fight fiercely. Not considering the possibility of instant kill, the two of them may be the most exciting duel of this competition. In the arena, the two players stood opposite each other, 3 or 4 meters apart. I heard that you received Tartaro's demon? Merity asked curiously. Yes, I'm lucky to have a few more demon souls, so they should be quite powerful. Mirajane was not surprised. It's normal for someone like Mr. Wu Ming to know her very well. He must know all kinds of magic. Then let's make the fight more exciting, Merity invited. Mirajane smiled bitterly and nodded. Advertisement. It seems that there is no way to decide the winner in a peaceful way. Both players, get ready. Bang. As the gong sounded. The atmosphere in the arena suddenly became lively. Receive the soul of Satan with your whole body. Mirajane accepted it immediately. Her snow-white hair stood upside down, leaving only the bangs hanging in front of her forehead. Hands turned into devil claws. There was a long and thick scaly tail behind her, swinging back and forth. Magic power overflowed from her body. The dust under her feet was shaken up by the powerful magic power, floating in the air around her body. Swoosh. It happened so fast. At the moment of transformation, Mirajane's body moved towards Merity. It was so fast. Only a few people could see her figure, and others couldn't even see her shadow. Of course, those who can see it definitely don't Merity. She also rushed out at the moment when Mirajane moved. The two of them were very fast. They met in the center. Their arms collided, and the power of that moment caused a wave of wind. They scattered around the two of them. Dust rose. In the smoke, the figures of Mirajane and Merity disappeared again. Faster than breathing. There was another collision in the southeast corner of the arena. Da da da. After another collision, Mirajane waved her fists and hammered Merity at a very fast and fierce speed. Come on. Merity was in high spirits. She first blocked several random punches with her hands, and then lightning wrapped around her fists. She stood in the same place and fought with Mirajane. Boom boom. At first, the 2 punches were all tests, and after 2 punches, both sides began to increase their strength. The fists collided with each other with the sound of breaking through the air. The sound of vibrations. It spread throughout the entire arena and the audience. Pa pa pa. You come and I go. The flash of swords. The 2 girls launched an attack that was more fierce than that of men. Great. Our 2 players are fighting fiercely. Every time they fight, they can stir up a storm. Perhaps, their strength is even stronger than we imagined. Jabadi was very excited. His face was red, and his eyes were bulging with veins as he reported the live broadcast. Chapter 133. Dragon Strike. If you don't admit defeat, you will die. In fact, he didn't need to say it. The audience could see how fierce the battle was. The punches clashed. What a powerful strength they showed. Dark sparks. After a simple test, Mirajane's fists produced dark busy light, and she attacked Merity quickly and powerfully. 1. Swish. Merity was equally unwilling to be outdone, and her fists were entangled with yellow lightning. She counterattacked Mirajane. Bang bang bang, crackling. The two people punched wildly, lightning and darkness intertwined. Neither of them gave in. Super sadistic flash. Dark energy covered her fists. Mirajane slapped hard, and Merity felt her body being blown away by the huge force. She fell directly from midair. Boom! Her body fell heavily to the ground, and the ground of the arena was smashed with a bang. Soul Exterminator. It's not over yet. After Mirajane knocked Merity away, a large amount of dark magic power gathered again between her hands. It was released violently. It aimed at Merity and produced a super powerful shockwave. The dark beam of light came from top to bottom and hit the ground of the arena head-on. Clang! Screams and shouts rang out. The audience was watching with great passion, one by one, with eyes wide open and fists clenched. They stared at the arena intently. Cool, it's really impressive. Mirajane defeated Merity with a combo. Is the winner decided just like that? Has Angel Wing really been defeated? Jabadi reported the situation live with enthusiasm. In the arena, the smoke was gradually blown away by the breeze. Merity lay in the pit, blinking and looking at Mirajane in the sky. The roar of the Thunder Dragon. Take a deep breath. Merity opened her mouth and released her breath at Mirajane in the air. At that moment, the beam of lightning shot up into the sky. The beam of light was many times thicker than the one Mirajane had shot. Instantly, lightning directly submerged Mirajane's body. Ah! Mirajane suddenly screamed. The lightning struck her body, and the strong paralysis made her unable to fly steadily. She fell directly from the sky, and her attack really shocked many people. Advertisement, Lightning Dragon Slayer, Laxus exclaimed. He really didn't know that this Merity was also a Lightning Dragon Slayer. The breath just now seemed very strong. Mistogan frowned. That breath was bigger than Laxus and Natsu's. It didn't seem simple. It was very powerful, and her breath was more like a dragon's roar. Laxus's face was solemn. He had to admit that this woman's breath was not simple, even he didn't seem so strong now. Is it a magic crystal? Gajeel asked. It feels a little different from the magic crystal. No one knew what it was like. Anyway, it was definitely not an ordinary roar, at least it was bigger than they remembered. Laxus was not the only one who was surprised. There were also several members of the Saberbite Tiger. Urza and this Merity are both dragon slayers. Whether it's a magic crystal or not, the power is much stronger than imagined. Rogue's face was solemn. He saw the breath just now clearly, and that level of roar was stronger than his. Another. Angel Wing seems to be more powerful than we thought. Sting clenched his fist. That breath is really powerful, which shows that the angels are all big demons. They are very powerful. Lightning Dragon Slayer. Same as Laxus from the Fairy Tale Guild. Black lightning splashed in the palm of Orga's palm. It's just a dragon slayer. How could he beat his opponent? Everyone had their own ideas, but the battle was still going on. Merity knocked Mirajane down with a breath, then she turned into lightning and came to Mirajane like a teleport. Raised her hand high, condensed a trident in her palm and threw it at Mirajane. Received the whole body demon Shuttley. Mirajane immediately received other souls. The moment she appeared, the ground under her feet was squeezed by the huge magic power, like a spider web breaking inch by inch. Devil fire was burning around. The whole person looked extremely dangerous. As soon as she appeared, she smashed the lightning trident with one punch. Lightning mode. Seeing the other party transform and being able to break her lightning. Merity also paid enough attention. The magic power in her body exploded. The whole body turned into golden light, and the lightning that jumped from time to time showed its extraordinariness. At that moment, the air suddenly became heavy, and the audience closest to the arena. Suddenly, their hearts beat rapidly, accompanied by shortness of breath. 3 punches. Merity raised 3 fingers. She meant to blow up everything Mirajane had with 3 punches. Advertisement. WIZX. Mirajane responded with strength. The demonic fire emitted from her body, and she was determined to burn Merity to ashes. First punch, Merity said, and her body came in front of Mirajane in the blink of an eye. Her right fist was put at her waist. Boom. The punch was like a dragon. The fist hit Mirajane's stomach directly with bursts of sonic booms. Mirajane couldn't catch up with Merity's speed at all. She only felt the forbidden food in her stomach. A mouthful of blood spurted out of her mouth. Whoosh. Her body was directly hit backwards, and after a loud bang, it hit the wall directly. It left a deep mark. How can I lose like this? Mirajane covered her stomach, fell from the wall, wiped the blood from the corner of her mouth, and walked towards Merity. Asterisk equals asterisk. Merity's voice was slower than her body. When she flashed in front of him again, the voice came. Uppercut. Meredy punched fiercely, and uppercut directly hit Mirajane's eyes full of bloodshot. A lot of blood was spitting out of her mouth. Ravage. This was a one-sided ravage. The members of the two teams couldn't bear to watch, but Mirajane didn't fall down again. It was impossible to judge the end of the game. The third punch is coming. After Meredy knocked the man away, her lower limbs slightly bent, and with a bang, she crushed the ground. Her figure disappeared in the arena like lightning. Ma Qianzhao. When he appeared again, he had already arrived in the higher sky, and Mirajane's body was still flying up. He was about to fly to the height where Meredy was. Dragon Slayer secret. Meredy's slightly cold voice came, and everyone's scalp tingled. At this moment, if Mirajane was really hit, it might not be as simple as ending with Tang. Everyone looked at the sky. Aang Meredy was still accumulating power, and her figure directly appeared as a giant dragon transformed from lightning. The dragon roar sounded in the sky. Dragon. I actually saw a dragon. This is the dragon roar, just the sound makes my body tremble. Damn it. I am obviously one of the best wizards in the guild, but now my legs are weak. It will kill people. If Mirajane is hit, she will die. Words. The audience's discussion continued. Everyone was worried, and some people who were afraid had already closed their eyes. Chapter 134. Mirajane voluntarily gave up and admitted defeat. Makarov's face twitched. His intuition kept telling him that he must not continue. Someone will die. Mirajane will really die from this blow. Give up. We give up. Let her stop. Makarov looked at the referee with a hoarse voice. He absolutely could not let this punch fall, otherwise there would be a real risk of life. We give up. Laxus also hurriedly informed. The referee was stunned. He seemed to know that the current situation was not good, and hurriedly raised his voice to shout to the air. Fairy Tail B team gives up. The voice was very loud. But it was not too late, and Mirajane's body was about to be hit. After hearing the other party give up, he also put away the fist that was charging, and the dragon shadow gradually dissipated as Meredy stretched out his hand. The pressure in the air, it became smaller, and finally disappeared completely. It almost killed someone. Meredy grabbed Mirajane's body and slowly fell from the air. She put her on the ground and said, if Fairy Tail really didn't admit defeat, then she would have no choice but to throw that punch. According to her speculation, one punch should be able to blow up the arena, and the audience will be affected. I declare that the winner of the third match on the second day is Angel Wings. Jabadi announced the result of the match, although he knew that many people were sorry that they didn't see that punch. But if there was a life-threatening situation during the match, 160 would also cause an uproar. Sure enough, I won, but isn't it a bit redundant to release magic power? Celine laughed dryly. It's totally unnecessary to release magic power to bully others. Just have fun. Wu Ming thought about it and didn't care. Mirajane is quite powerful, but definitely not as strong as Meredy. Meredy, August, Ultier and Urza have all played. It should be Wendy's turn tomorrow. Carla analyzed. It should be Wendy's turn anyway, and it would be too much if Wendy is not allowed to play. I think so. Wu Ming replied with a smile. History has changed. Who knows if it will go on as we remember. Then the second day of the Grand Magic Fighting exercise will come to the last match. Mermaid Heels Kagura vs Swordbite Tigers Yukino. Jabadi announced loudly. The audience was in an uproar again. They had just seen the duel between two beauties in the third match. The last round was still a beauty. They were all very excited. Girl. Uru, who was a little depressed, suddenly sobered up after hearing the players coming on the field. He shouted and looked at the arena, in the field. Two players came on the field, stood opposite each other, staring at each other. CFDB. I believe everyone knows how strong Mermaid Heels Kagura is. She is the strongest wizard of Mermaid Heel. She is also a top female wizard in Magic Weekly. Before the two sides came to fight, Jabadi solemnly introduced the players of both sides to show the audience their strong strength. Yukino on the opposite side is making her debut today, but she is a member of the strongest guild, the Tiger of Bladebite. Her strength is also worth looking forward to. Introductions completed. Advertisement, then the game begins. Jabadi announced the start of the game. The two players did not communicate much, and they simply greeted each other and immediately started. Yukino took out the key of the Zodiac, summoned Celestial Spirit to fight. The first one summoned was Celestial Spirit of Libra, who played with gravity and caused some trouble for Kagura. After that, Dumbledore called out Celestial Spirit of Pisces again, and the two golden keys cooperated with each other. Kagura could only avoid the edge temporarily, not afraid of the sword Gongzi type. Yukino is indeed powerful. Celestial Spirit is very powerful, and at the same time, it is much more powerful than ordinary people. Unfortunately, Kagura is not weak either. She didn't even draw her weapon, but smashed the ground with her scabbard. She forced Yukino to retreat. Amazing, Kagura is so strong. The opponent is a sword-biting tiger, but he can't beat Kagura. You can't underestimate anyone. Take a good look, these women are stronger than each other. The audience was excited. The magic of the two people in the field was also very powerful, chasing each other and flying around the entire arena. Yukino, this kid doesn't know Celestial Spirit clothes. Uru was anxious. In terms of strength, Yukino's skills are much weaker than Lucis. This fight was really awkward, it's due to her talent limitation. Besides, Yukino doesn't have a deep understanding of celestial spirit magic and has never studied it. Irene shook her head. Yukino's strength is not even that of an S-class wizard. Lucy can handle her. This Kagura is a great swordsman. She can fight like this without unsheathing her sword. If she puts her mind to it, she will be really powerful. Wu Ming was amazed, although he didn't understand whether she would still look for Jelal to avenge her brother. But her strength has not changed. Yukino is going to lose. Mavis looked at it twice and stopped paying attention. Double doors are not enough. Unless the 3 doors are added with celestial spirit clothes, and if Lucis super magic can be used, then it is possible to win. Obviously, Yukino can't do this at the moment, and the time she loses depends on when Kagura is serious. Come on. Say it's the moment. Kagura didn't draw her sword, but the sound of swords rang in the air. Yukino with double doors was cut off directly. Advertisement. The 2 celestial spirits were cut into pieces and disappeared. It is very unfortunate to open the 13th door. But, now I can only do this, for the victory of the Tiger of Sword Bite. Open. The gate of Ophiuchus. Rustle, rustle. The dark purple mist filled the entire venue, and everything around was filled with the breath of misfortune. That was the black air caused by the powerful magic. In the thick purple mist, Ophiuchus appeared, attacking Kagura with a powerful breath. Not afraid of the sky, the sword type, clang. The sword was not unsheathed. The Ophiuchus had been cut down by the sword, then. Kagura rushed to Yukino and solved the opponent with his powerful strength. Victory. The winner of the final match today is Kagura of Mermaid Heel. Cheers. The audience applauded enthusiastically. What a pity, it seems that I have to go and comfort my daughter quickly. Uru was not surprised by this. That Kagura is very strong in both magic and strength, and Yukino's holder is not good at fighting. It seems that there are no surprises in today's game. Wu Ming stood up from his seat, he stretched and scanned the entire arena. He did not find any trace of the future Lucy, which means she has not come yet. Probably not. Maybe she is hiding somewhere. Go home, go home. Irene also stood up. Every day is quite interesting, you can see all kinds of magic. It is also a fun in the boring life. I'm going to the Fairy Tale Guild to play. Mavis' eyes lit up with gold. Anyway, it's okay to go back. She plans to take August to play, just in time to introduce her child to Makarov and others. Come back early. Wu Ming did not stop him. No one in this world can kill Mavis, he doesn't need to worry at all. Chapter 135. Ulu who protects his children, should we kill them all? Uru is going to take care of his goddaughter. Wu Ming, Celine and Irene did not go with him, and the 3 of them went back to rest. On the way, I recalled the scores. First place, Fairy Tale Team at 25 points. Second place, Angel Wings, 21 points. Third place, Mermaid Heel 21 points. Fourth place, Quattro Cerberus 20 points. Fifth place, Sword-Bite Tiger 18 points. Sixth place, Fairy Tale, Team B 18 points. Seventh place, Qingqing Sei Tenma 15 points. Eighth place, Lamia Scale 1 to 0 points. Almost every day after the game, the scores will change dramatically. The game ended on the second day. Fairy Tale Team A won the championship directly, becoming the first to reach the first place. This situation can be said to be very unexpected. And Angel Wings, from 5th place back to 2nd place, with only a difference of 4 points from the first. It can be caught up in any round. As for Sword-Bite Tiger, this strongest guild has become a complete joke, and it can't even maintain its first place. It can't be called the strongest anymore. This time it has even dropped to 5th place. Speaking of which, is Sword-Bite Tiger going to expel Yukino from the guild? Walking on the way back, Wu Ming couldn't help but think of this plot. He remembered that Yukino was humiliated by her president because of losing. I hope Sword-Bite Tiger will still exist tomorrow. After thinking about it, Uru has gone to find someone. If he knew about Yukino, he might get furious and angry. At that time, she won't care so much. It's possible that Sword-Bite Tiger will be completely wiped out tonight. On the other hand, Uru wandered around the city, trying to see if he could find Qian Gui Nu to go out and play. Although she knew the hotel where Sword-Bite Tiger lived. But her identity was special, and suddenly looking for someone might cause a bad influence, and even cause trouble. It's a pity that after walking around the city for several times, he didn't meet Yukino's people. Regretfully, she had to find a place to rest first. Do you really want to go to the sword-biting tiger to look for her? Uru was holding a snack. It seemed that Yukino was not outside. If you want to find her, you may have to go to the guild. Gurgle. The wheels of the suitcase turned. Advertisement. A short-haired girl dragged a suitcase past her crying. Uru sighed. After scanning the suitcase, she looked away, but she was suddenly stunned. She hurriedly looked over and found that the one pulling the suitcase was Yukino. Uru was overjoyed. With an excited smile on his face, he raised his voice and called Shang. Yukino was stunned. Turning his head, he found that the owner of the voice was Uru. She opened her mouth, but still said nothing and turned back to continue dragging the suitcase to leave. Uru was puzzled. He reached out and grabbed her wrist, stuffed the snack into his mouth, and then fought in front of her. What's wrong? Uru asked in confusion. Did your guild move? Yukino was dejected. She didn't seem to want to make any answer. Don't worry. I'm a boring person, but it's not bad to be a treehole. If you have any troubles, just tell me. Uru seemed to have noticed something was wrong. He hugged Yukino in his arms, rubbed her soft hair and comforted her softly. The warmth from the palm of his hand. It flowed into her body along the top of her head and finally warmed her cold heart. Woo woo woo. She couldn't help crying. Release the sadness in her heart. I'm homeless. Yukino cried. She said something heartbreaking. It's okay, tell me slowly. Aren't you a contestant of the Sword-Bite Tiger? How come you don't have a home? Uru has taken care of many children over the years. Urza, Ultir, Gray, Leon, Merity, Wendy, Carla and August. She has rich experience in taking care of children. Naturally, she knows how to comfort. Woo! I have always admired the Sword-Bite Tiger and worked hard to join the guild, hoping to make it shine. But, Ying, because I lost the game, the president humiliated me in front of everyone, too. Take off your clothes and wipe off the guild emblem with your own hands. Yukino was like a kitten who had lost her mother. She grabbed Uru's clothes tightly and poured out all the humiliation she suffered. Dong 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 dong. Uru heard the whole story. At that moment, she felt eternal anger in her heart. Her eyes were cold. Hoo. Under the violent fluctuation of emotions, the surrounding air began to be filled with water-cooled cold air. Advertisement crack, crack, crack. The ground under his feet was covered with a layer of white frost visible to the naked eye. Angry. Uru only felt angry. Asterisk. It was an anger she had never felt before, and a cold light flashed in her eyes. Celine. Uru took a deep breath and stabilized his violent emotions. He took a deep breath and called with a unique sound wave. Huh? Celine's figure fell from the sky. She glanced at Uru and looked at the girl in her arms. Take my daughter back first, and let her live with us during this period, Uru said. Then he looked at Yukino. Yukino, go back to our place with Celine first, and live with us until the end of the great magic fighting exercise. Yukino sobbed. Celine smiled, and reached out to touch Yukino's head. Don't worry, I have good news for you. We have found her sister, and we will pick her up in the next 2 days. Yukino's eyes widened with tears. She never expected that they would actually complete the request. And they found someone. The sword-biting tiger doesn't want you, but we Angel Wings welcome you. Merity and the others are just short of playmates. No one will hurt you if you stay with me in the future. Uru reached out to help her wipe her tears. This series of actions made Yukino panic. She had never felt such a gentle elder. Plus the naked care. She felt very strongly that there seemed to be nothing wrong with having such an elder. Where are you going? Yukino asked. Uru smiled and squinted his eyes, looking in the direction of the hotel where the sword-bite tiger stayed. I'll go around again. Celine reached out to help pull the suitcase, and held Yukino's hand. She walked forward 2 steps and disappeared, after the people left. Uru's smile disappeared, and his body exuded an extremely cold temperature. What should I do? How about killing them all? She walked towards the Sword-Bite Tiger Guild Hotel. She talked to herself as she walked. What is the strongest guild? They are elders, and there is no distinction between superiors and subordinates. It is particularly important to care for children. Even though they don't care much on weekdays, but in fact, everyone is very protective of their children. Sword-Bite Tiger dared to do that kind of thing. In her opinion, it is not a pity that all of them died. Her newly adopted daughter was bullied like this, and if she didn't kill people, she would not be worthy of being a mother. In her heart, the president of the Sword-Bite Tiger was sentenced to death. Chapter 136. Challenge the Sword-Bite Tiger and kill President Giema. The Hotel of the Sword-Bite Tiger. This is undoubtedly the most luxurious hotel. At this point, most members are ready to sleep, and they are in their own rooms. Just when they were about to sleep, the temperature around them suddenly dropped, and they saw white frost on the walls of the house in just a breath. It's so cold. How can it be so cold in the capital at this season? Sting lay in the quilt. The sudden cold air made him shiver constantly, and his hands and feet were getting more and more stiff from the cold. He hurriedly climbed out of the quilt and put on thick clothes. He opened the window and looked out. Suddenly he found that it was snowing, and snowflakes as big as goose feathers fell from the sky. Looking more carefully, he saw that the snow seemed to only surround their hotel. Huh. Sting exhaled. It instantly turned into hot air and was exhaled, but it was only for less than a second of breathing. The goose feather snow scraped into his stomach. Tisk, how can it be so cold? The body was still shaking. Sting used his magic to raise his body temperature, but soon he felt something was wrong. The magic in his body seemed to be frozen by the cold air. It was extremely difficult to operate. 843, click. At this time, Rogue pushed open his door. This snow is the enemy's magic, and they have invaded our hotel. What? Sting was shocked. He turned around and asked. The invader. This is the hotel where all the members of the Sword-Bite Tiger live. Who is it? So brave. Sting couldn't figure out who was looking for death. I don't know, but it must be a guy who didn't think about going back alive. Rogue took Sting out. Not long after they ran out, the end of the corridor was covered with white frost. Several guild members were directly frozen. A chilly air stung their nerves. Rogue and Sting stopped and stared at the end. The crisp footsteps approached. A black-haired woman with white cold air came over. She was like an elegant civet cat. Every step she took was instantly frozen into ice. The woman walked to the side of the members who were frozen into ice sculptures and gently raised her hand to tap. Clap. The ice sculptures turned into broken ice and fell to the ground with a crash. In just a few seconds, the former companions were completely dead. This guy, Sting gritted his teeth. Anger rose in his heart, and he wanted to rush up and kill this woman. But he found that his legs were shaking uncontrollably. Looking closely, his arms were actually covered with hair, and his body was afraid. Hey, kid, can you tell me where you are from? The pace was approaching. The cold breath had frozen the corridor into ice. Advertisement she was still approaching. Step by step, every step seemed to step on their hearts. Fear. At this moment, the two people finally knew what this emotion was. It's fear. The body is afraid. The nerves are constantly wailing, run, run. The sixth sense is in crisis. Remind them what to do now. Who are you? Just when the ice was about to extend to the soles of Sting and Rogue's feet. A voice came from a closed door. Uru turned around. The door was first covered with white frost, and then broke directly. She stepped in. It was also at this time that Sting and Rogue's nerves relaxed and collapsed on the ground. The legs were shaking. The raised hands kept shaking. This was the most instinctive fear. It took a while to move, supporting each other into the president's room, and saw that many members were ready to go. Who are you? Giemma, the president of the Sword-Bite Tiger Guild, was sitting on the sofa. The body was filled with black and purple magic patterns. Angel wings. Uru was standing at the door. Her feet were covered with ice, and her body was covered with blue magic ripples. Even though she was alone, she never showed any fear in front of so many people. Angel wings. Everyone present was moved. Everyone knew that this guild that was dominating them was not easy to deal with. But even so, why did they come to their guild to kill people? Didn't they say that it was an independent organization that protected the country? I just accepted Yukino as my daughter yesterday, and today she was humiliated by you. So I came to seek justice for my child. Uru took the initiative to tell her purpose of coming here. So that's it, all the members suddenly realized. So they wanted to ask Yukino for an explanation. Even so, was it necessary to come so aggressively? Look at the members here. There are still 7 or 8 people who are not here. You don't need to ask to know that they have been ruthlessly killed. This guy is really wanting justice. Giemma just thought this kind of words was ridiculous. There is no justice for the weak in the Sword-Bite Tiger. Swish. Giemma just said this. One of his arms disappeared directly, and the wound was covered with ice. So fast, Sting's forehead was covered with cold sweat. He couldn't see how the attack was made. What on earth was going on? A strong enemy. Absolutely a strong enemy. Rogue's pupils shrank, and he lowered his head and dared not look. This person was too strong. DB. His arm was torn to pieces. Giemma just groaned, without making any screams that would damage his status. But his face was also very ugly. Angel wings is provoking us, Sword-Bite Tiger, right? We took it, Giemma said. He must maintain his identity as the strongest. Advertisement. Even if the pain in his arm made him uncomfortable, he must not show his weakness. What qualifications do you have to take it? Uru was angry. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. A violent snowstorm suddenly appeared in the room. The walls were all covered with white frost, and the temperature in the room was plummeting. Many people soon couldn't stand the cold air. They could only grit their teeth and hold on. Iglub. The atmosphere on both sides became more and more tense. At this time, a giggling voice came from the side room, and a woman came out from inside. Sister. I apologize to you on behalf of my father. I believe you don't want to make a big fuss. You may be very strong, but the members of our Sword-Bite Tiger Guild would rather die than surrender. Why not just let it go? Minerva took the initiative to step forward and act as a peacemaker. Obviously, she didn't want to make a big fuss. Even if a few people died, she didn't want to continue fighting. Crack. Before Minerva could be happy for a few seconds, the wind and snow suddenly blew harder. Except for her, all the members were frozen. Crack, crack, crack. There were waves of ice cracking sounds, and cracks began to appear on all those who turned into ice sculptures. Minerva's face turned pale. She pursed her lips. The scene around her made her unable to calm down, and she thought quickly about what to do. Little girl. Companions and family are very important in this world. Since we are from the same guild, at the very least, we should show respect and love. You, the Sword-Bite Tiger, still hold the idea that the strong are respected. It is better to disband as soon as possible. Uru disagreed. She came here to kill people today. Anyone can survive, but this Giemma is doomed to die. I only need to flick it lightly, and all your so-called powerful companions will die, Uru said. Minerva on the opposite side remained silent. Want revenge? Angel Wing welcomes you. Also, I would like to remind you that there are more than 10 people stronger than me in our organization. The contestants can only be considered average. If you want revenge, try to defeat them first. The cold air slowly disappeared, but the temperature in the room needs to be slowly restored. Your father 0.3 is dead, but this matter is not over yet. Feel what despair is in the next game. Dit. Snap your fingers. President Giemma turned into broken ice and shattered completely. And the other members returned to their original state. Uru turned and left. In her eyes, the Giemma she killed seemed insignificant. President. How could the president do that, that guy? All the members noticed shattered ice. Knowing that it was their president, they shouted indignantly. They wanted to rush out and kill the enemy. Report to the organizer and say that Angel Wing killed many people in our guild and have them arrested. Rogue was silent for 2 seconds and made a suggestion. Some people were tempted. Some people had other ideas. That woman's strength is very strong. Since she dares to kill people, she is fearless. We can fight them in the game. Minerva made a suggestion. In her opinion, family affection is dispensable. Her father himself is a person who believes in the strong. The strong prey on the weak. She was killed because of her lack of strength. Chapter 137. The right to challenge for the first place. The third day of the Great Demon Fighting Martial Arts Show. The atmosphere was still hot, with constant shouting. In the audience, Uru took Yukino to watch the game. Have you heard that there was a strange weather in the Swordbite Tiger Guild last night, and heavy snow appeared in their hotel? I know, I heard that there was an intruder, who knows, but it's normal to have a private fight during the celebration. Ahaha, it's a pity that we don't know who it is, and the Swordbite Tiger Gang didn't say anything. It would be better if they fought on the street. The audience around talked about it. It turned out that the weather was very strange with the sudden snowstorm last night. It's a pity that there was no follow-up, Uru, last night. When Yukino heard these words, she immediately thought of the time when Uru hugged her yesterday. Cold air appeared around. If the snow of the Swordbite Tiger was what happened, I'm afraid she would be the suspect. Last night, I went to take a bath. The men's bathroom is next door, Uru sipped his lips. Then he smiled evilly, obviously looking like a gangster. Hearing this, Yukino was more certain. She was also very happy in her heart. It was good to make the sword-biting tiger snow for her. In her opinion, Uru at most kept the sword-biting tiger awake by making it snow last night. She would never have thought of it. Last night, Uru directly killed President Giemma and several wizards. The great magic fighting exercise has finally entered the middle stage. The third day of the competition has begun. Today's guest is Mr. Kahar from the Magic Council. Jabati made a pre-match introduction. Now the content of the third day's competition department. The name of the children's newspaper is 11 Demon Subduing Hall. The number of participants is 1 from each guild. Please select your own contestants. Jabati announced the name of the competition part. Each team also began to send contestants. A short break. The 8 teams reported their participants, and Jabba Oil began to announce. The contestants have been decided. The Swordbite Tiger is Orga. The Lamia Scale is Jura. The Blue Pegasus is Hibiki. The Angel Wing is Urza. The Mermaid Heel is Miliana. The Quattro Cerberus is Nobarli. The Fairy Tail A team is Grey. The Fairy Tail B team is Laxus. The contestants have been announced. The 8 contestants walked in from their respective passages. Buzz. As soon as they walked to the center of the arena, a huge black magic circle appeared in the sky. A huge building appeared from it. It slowly stood up in the middle of the arena. Several contestants were stunned. This building was really huge. Advertisement. The temple where evil monsters live. The Demon Subduing Temple. Pumpkinhead introduced. This huge temple is almost bigger than the arena. It blocks out the sun. It feels strange just by looking at it, and its name is chilling. Are there monsters living there? Jura asked, looking at Pumpkinhead curiously. That's the setting, Fung, Pumpkinhead replied. Although there are 100 monsters living in the temple, they are all magical manifestations created by us. They will not attack you, so please don't worry. Seeing that the audience was scared, Pumpkinhead quickly explained to everyone present, and then dispelled the audience's fear. Monsters are divided into 5 levels according to their combat power. D, C, B, A, and S. The number is 50D level, 30C level, 15B level, 4A level, and 1S level. By the way, I will show you how strong D-level monsters are. Pumpkinhead said. A large screen appeared above his head, and a steel monster was walking on it. The monster hit it lightly. It easily broke the half-meter thick stone pillar, and the monster was not injured at all. The audience was terrified. Many magicians compared themselves with them, and it seemed that they could not even beat a D-level monster. There is a new understanding of the exaggeration of this competition. Please remember that if the monster's level is increased by 1 level, the combat power will double. Even the 10 great magicians of the Holy Land cannot guarantee that they can defeat the powerful S-level monsters. Pumpkinhead reminded again and again. The 8 members were all pondering, if they were in there, how many they should be able to fight. Each contestant will decide the number of monsters to fight in order, which is called the challenge right. Pumpkinhead continued to introduce. For example, if you choose 3 heads, a 3-headed monster will appear in the temple. The contestant enters the temple alone, and if he successfully defeats the 3-headed monster, he will get 3 points. The next contestant will decide the challenge right from the remaining 97 monsters. This will be repeated. Until the number of monsters is 0, or the magic power of each person is 0, the game will end. The rules of the game are here. Advertisement Urza quickly took out the lot. But as I just said, monsters are divided into levels. Whether the challenge rite is 1 or 5, the monsters will appear randomly. It's very important to say, if you fall in the temple. There were 8 sticks in it for several players to draw lots before the game. Then the challenge rite for that round will be invalid, so you need to consider the number of challenges carefully. The 8 contestants have already understood it, and simply speaking, it is a matter of counting. The other 7 contestants are thinking, while Urza is hesitant to speak. Oruga asked gloomily, "It's so unlucky, I drew the 8th place." "Then let's decide the order of appearance, please come forward and draw lots." Urza raised her eyebrows unexpectedly, she didn't expect her luck to be so good. Pumpkinhead said as a box appeared in his hand, "If it appears randomly, there is no way to formulate a strategy." But she is not in a hurry to say it. If you don't draw the first place, it will not be good to let others take advantage. Seeing that it was the first appearance, once you enter the temple, you can't leave until you win. The level of the monsters is not taken into account. Score is based on the number of monsters defeated. "I'm fine. Second place," Hippie rubbed his bangs. "But in fact, she can challenge 100 monsters, and then she will definitely be the first." Laxus over there was speechless. His luck was too bad, the 8th place was particularly dangerous. Gray scratched his hair. This link seems very friendly to him, after all, he has an advantage in probability. Does that mean you need a strategy to avoid encountering S-level monsters? The most important thing in this competition is to consider your position. Pumpkinhead continued to remind everyone. Urza just hopes that others don't draw the first place, or don't take it all before it's her turn. Hippie shrugged, "For things with probability, my ancient book is not able to specify strategies. It's a meaningless argument, the rules are supplemented." His position was not bad, and he should have more opportunities to appear. A magic circle appeared at the other end with the number written on it. Chapter 138. Challenge Power 100, Bombardment. Pumpkinhead was still asking the others to draw lots. Urza crossed her arms, looked at the huge demon temple and took a deep breath. "Referee. Have you ever considered that someone would directly choose to challenge 100 heads?" Urza asked. As soon as this was said, the other players were stunned. Is it possible for one person to challenge 100 heads? Impossible. Several players thought it was impossible, after all, there were many monsters in the demon temple. Not to mention the S-level equivalent to the Holy 10. Urza, you are not planning to. Gray was anxious. He was the selected number 2. If Urza was asked to challenge 100 heads, how would he survive? As for whether he could beat them or not, to be honest, Gray had never considered it. This person could challenge a giant dragon 7 years ago. Not to mention a mere S-level. No problem at all. For the team's score, he must prevent this from happening. Impossible. Impossible. We have never set up this situation. Pumpkinhead shook his head and denied it. He didn't think anyone could do this at all. What's the concept of 100 heads? Considering the consumption of magic power, this is harder than dealing with a Saint 10 magician. Don't be so stubborn, challenging 100 heads is too much of a stretch. Oruga reminded, although he knew how powerful Uru in Angel Wings was. But he didn't think the contestant was that powerful. 100 heads? This would cost him his life, although he really wanted to see it. However, if he died in there, he would still be terminated from the competition, but he had to help Sword-Bite Tiger regain 3rd place. Although you are very powerful, isn't 100 heads too difficult? Jura also reminded. He knew how powerful Angel Wings was 7 years ago. But challenging 100 heads? He still had some doubts about this kind of thing, and it would be troublesome if his life was in danger by accident. Beautiful lady. Please forgive my recklessness, for your life, don't. Hibiki slipped to Urza's side, confidently posing. Trying to flirt with girls with handsome looks, there's no need to do that. Safety is still very important. Everyone, please go on stage one by one. It's just a game. Don't get too carried away. Being too arrogant can put your life in danger. I really don't understand what you're thinking. Several other players also shook their heads and spoke. Advertisements and were sincere reminders. Some people thought she was overestimating herself and that she was walking into a trap. Of course, some people enjoy it. One less competitor means one less competitor, and their team can get a higher score. The audience could hear it too. After listening to Urza's speech, they felt that she was courting death. Laughed with a sneer. Some people like to watch the fun, if there is really a danger to life. Maybe it's not bad, this person is really looking for death. It's ridiculous. What's the point of challenging 100 monsters? Go and die yourself. Go ahead, I'll see how your guild dies. Laughter, cheers, and worries mixed together. Some people want to watch it. Some people are just waiting to see the joke. Members of other guilds are also whispering to each other. Most guilds think this is nonsense. Some guilds think it sounds great, it should be worth watching. In short, all kinds of people have their own ideas, no matter how you look at it. Challenger Angel Wings member Urza Scarlet. Challenge right, 100. Under everyone's worried and puzzled eyes, Urza walked into the demon subduing hull through the stairs and stood in the empty passage. Announce her challenge. Bang, bang, bang. With a series of violent shaking, the monsters all poked their heads out from the darkness. Then, let's fight. While speaking, Urza reached out and pulled out a red deer antler magic wand from the void and turned it in her hand. Roar, the monsters roared. They attacked Urza from all directions. Buzz buzz. However, Urza twisted the magic wand gently. Above, in front, behind, left, right, magic circles of the same size appeared around her. The magic circle glowed. Instantly, advertisement. Rays shot out from the magic circle. Boom boom boom. A violent roar suddenly sounded, and each ray of light hit a monster very quickly. This is incredible. Urza used her powerful magic to release magic in all directions. Bursts of light shot out, hitting D-level monsters one by one. An absolute domain was formed around her. All monsters that stepped into this range would be instantly crushed, Jabati reported passionately. The wig on his head fell off, and he almost stuffed the microphone into his mouth. It's not over yet. Magic shouldn't strengthen the body. In the audience, Makarov sighed deeply. It is just a cheap control. The real strong person does not care about that method at all. It was driven in a complex and dazzling manner. Every time the magic wand was aimed at the target, it launched an attack. She only needs to inject magic power into the wand and then release it. So beautiful. Her figure is so beautiful, and the use of magic is really beautiful. The first wave of explosions directly destroyed more than a dozen D-level monsters. Just like that, she just flexibly turned the magic wand with both hands. Hashtag what kind of magic is this? Urza's body didn't move at all since she entered the demon subduing hall. It couldn't stop her exquisite and dazzling beauty. And then release it in the form of form. Why is this person's magic all light? That figure was like an unshakable statue, no matter how terrifying the monsters were. That's just low-level magic. The attack easily crushed a monster, and her magic wand was like a flower rope. All destroyed with one strike. In the picture, what kind of magic is she doing? Why didn't I see it from beginning to end? The method of calling the name of the move is loose. A truly powerful person does not need to use so-called moves to attack. If the magic power is refined, even a trace of magic power can be as powerful as a special move. The wizards in the audience were stunned. The people of Angel Wings have already walked ahead of all wizards. It's really eye-opening. It's really eye-opening. But that's it. Several members of the Fairy Tale Guild talked about it. Those monsters couldn't get close at all, whether they were D-level, C-level, or B-level. Sometimes she aimed it forward, sometimes at the sky, and sometimes she held the magic wand with her backhand and pointed it behind her. All those who tried to rush in monsters in the area around Urza. Urza has already integrated her own attributes with magic power, and the nameless performance of moves has long been abandoned. So, there is such a use for magic power is me, and I am magic power. Then Urza turned her magic wand. Chapter 139, The Exploding Magic Power Meter. In the Demon Subduing Hall, Urza manipulated the magic wand with great skill. It was 2 meters long, but in Urza's hand, it was as easy as an arm, and she could easily capture monsters at various angles. Monsters were dead all around her, within a 3-meter diameter. It seemed like a divine domain, sacred and inviolable. Even if the monsters had various attributes, they were no match for the enemy in the bombardment. It's incredible. All D-class monsters were wiped out. There were only 2 giants left in the C-class. And there were only 3 or 4 B-class monsters left. 1 A-class monster has also died. Is there really no monster that can make our Elsa player move even a step? Jabati continued to work hard on the live report. The viewing effect was excellent. No monster could make Urza move even a little. She was simply an invincible female martial arts formation. Hee. Urza was not embarrassed at all, and easily solved the various monsters that rushed towards her. Space cutting. The magic wand turned twice in her hand. Instantly, cracks appeared in the entire space, and the cracks continued to spread in all directions. Bang! After a sound, the space was cut, and 4 A-level monsters were also solved. Space exile. Buzz. Urza raised the magic wand. The surging magic power was released, and a magic circle larger than the demon subduing hall appeared under her feet. The moment it appeared 520. All the monsters were absorbed by the invisible force and swallowed by the magic array. It's over. Before Urza's big move, all the monsters were destroyed. Until now, we didn't even see what the S-level monsters looked like. The game is over. Jabati announced the result of the game. In the picture, all monsters of all levels were destroyed. Even the S-level that had never been seen before were solved. Uproar. Everyone was stunned. Looking at the figure in the demon subduing hall, they couldn't let it go. Just like that? 100 monsters were eliminated just like that? This player didn't even move his feet. It was simply the epitome of exaggeration. What a joke. S-class monsters were eliminated before they even showed their true form. Pumpkinhead really needs to be pitied. Not only did he eliminate 100 monsters, but even the S-class monsters didn't have time to resist. This is an unprecedented shock. The demon subduing hall disappeared. Urza reappeared in the arena unscathed. Urza of Angel Wings gets 10 points. The game is over. Urza got 10 points directly. The other players also frowned and felt very uncomfortable, especially Gray, who was the first to appear. Really, can't you leave half for me? Gray was speechless. He was still thinking about getting the second place, but now the monsters of the demon subduing hall disappeared. I don't know how the subsequent games will go. Let me say a one-on-one fight. Laxus clenched his fist. A fight will determine the rest of the rankings, this is what he wants to see most. I'm afraid of encountering something that is unfavorable to him. Hualala, the audience finally woke up from silence and applauded Urza. This competition was perfect, sincerely admired. Advertisement, this is the first time I admire Angel Wings. By the way, does Angel Wings accept people? I really want to join. The affiliated organization of the Angel Church is so strong. Awesome, I really want to continue watching. I wonder what exciting duels they will have later. The voices of admiration are getting louder and louder. There are also wizards who want to join Angel Wings. From a big picture perspective, defeating 51 monsters means you will definitely be the first place. Mavis deduced. If we only count the score and not the level, then 51 monsters will get 51 points. With a total score of 100, it's already the first place. But shouting to challenge 51 monsters is not as impressive as 100 monsters. Celine said so. We are strong, if we are weak, we can choose 50, Irene shrugged. She is worthy of being her daughter, she is really domineering. She is suitable to be a king or something, it's all right. Wu Ming waved his hand. 100 is 100, he just wants to know how many points Gray and Laxus will score next. Can they score a series of 9s? Yukino sat next to Uru. Looking at the heroic Urza, her eyes were full of twinkling stars. She was completely captured. Urza is so handsome with her domineering side, CFEC. It is really a blessing to be a sister with her, it's not over yet, our guild will win the next game, Uru said with a smile. She secretly called Wu Ming and Urza and several other players. After hearing about Yukino's experience, they were very angry and decided to punish the sword-bite tiger in the game. So, they will win all the next matches, below. After Urza got 10 points, there was no more for her in the arena. She stepped down first and returned to the rest area. And Pumpkinhead also took the opportunity to find someone to discuss countermeasures. After a while, the result of the negotiation is that the remaining 7 teams must also decide the ranking. Although it is a bit boring, we have prepared a simple game. Pumpkinhead said. There was a device with a crystal ball hanging next to him. This thing is called MPF device for short, which is a magic power measuring device. As you can see, as long as you use magic power to attack, the world of the magic calendar will be displayed in the form of a value. Advertisement. The ranking is determined by the size of this number. Pumpkinhead introduced. All the players scanned the equipment and could not see any problems visually. I should go first. Gray stepped forward. By the way, will this thing be broken? Gray was a little nervous. If he released it with all his strength, it would probably be very fierce. If it was broken, would he be disqualified? No one has ever broken it, Pumpkinhead said confidently. This device has a strong defense, it should be impossible to break it. Take it easy. Laxus reminded. Don't do the same as Urza, destroying the demon temple by yourself. If Gray breaks this thing again, I'm afraid he will cry to death. Okay. Gray smacked his lips. He took off the kid, revealing his muscular body. 4x. Gray stretched out his hand and made a stroke. Half of his body was covered in black, and a burst of coolness appeared around his body. Silver World. Paw. Instantly, white frost rose in the arena. The detection device was directly frozen, and the remaining players couldn't help shivering. 9,527, the value of more than 9,000 appeared directly above the device. The whole audience was silent, although the cold air had some impact on the audience. But they were not interested in the value. More than 9,000 seems to be a high number, but there is no standard for comparison, and I don't know what level it is. Jabati asked. If it can reach more than 9,000, it should not be low, but he is still confused about the specifics. In our knight's training, there are times when we need to use MPF. Generally, the captain's level is around 350, this more than 9,000. I'm afraid it's not inferior to the 10 great magicians of the Holy Land. Lahar muttered. The serious face was shocked by such a high score. Walala. After Lahar said this, the audience was in an uproar. More than 9,000 was not inferior to the 10 great magicians of the Holy Land. That is to say, the contestant of the Fairy Tale Guild already has the strength to rival the 10 great magicians of the Holy Land. Unbelievable. It's simply unimaginable. Chapter 140. Internal Strife Within Fairy Tale. Jabati was also shocked. He didn't know how to report it for a while. As the first player to appear, he can score such a high score, which really doubles the pressure on those who come later. It took a moment to come back to his senses. He didn't know what the scores of other players were, but the possibility of higher scores than Gray was very small. After that, other players came forward one by one. As expected. Mermaid Heel, Blue Pegasus, Quattro Cerberus, the 3 guilds scored, all in the 2 or 3 digits. But it was Oruga of the Sword-Bite Tiger. He scored more than 3,000 points directly, if Gray hadn't been ahead. Then such a score would be considered good, it's a pity. Then there is Jura, who is known as the Holy 10 Magic Dao. As a true Holy 10, the audience hopes to see a good score, preferably surpassing Gray. However, it's a pity. When Jura, the Holy 10 Magic Dao, used magic, although he shattered the earth. It's a pity that the score was only more than 8,000. Although it's not a small number, it's still not as good as Gray's strength. All the contestants have finished their tests, The only one left is Laxus from Fairy Tail B team. Can he surpass the score of Team A? Jabati announced. For a moment, the audience also stared at the arena. Thunderpump. Laxus was wearing a coat. Endless thunder burst out from his body, and the sky turned black. Once the red thunder fell. Boom, the earth shattered. The violent aftermath made the players unable to stand steadily, and their eyes were red. 9,999. 4 black numbers appeared in the air. It was higher than the score of Team A, so high that the score was no longer counted. The score of the people in the MPF score have reached the limit. Congratulations to Fairy Tail Team B for winning the second place. Jabati announced. Everyone in the audience cheered enthusiastically. After a few days, the two teams of Fairy Tail performed well and received support and love from many people. Although not as good as Angel Wings, it was already very satisfying. So there were many spectators cheering for them. Then I will announce the scores in the middle of the game. As follows. First place, Fairy Tail Team with 31 points. Advertisement second place, Angel Wings 31 points. Third place, Fairy Tail Team B 26 points. Fourth place, Mermaid Heel 23 points. Fifth place, Quattro Cerberus .21 points. Sixth place, Sword-Bite Tiger 21 points. Seventh place, Blue Pegasus 15 points. Eighth place, Lamia Scale 14 points. Although Angel Wings scored 10 points, it was only tied with Team A. But they were not angry and ranked second. After all, things will change soon. If we win the duel again, we will be the first again. Irene replied with a smile. In the duel, no matter who goes on the field against whom, they will win. The first place is waving to them again, Mizzy. Wu Ming is not sure. If August goes on stage against Laxus, Natsu, and Gajeel in the duel, there is still a possibility of losing, in memory. Laxus was selected to go on stage to fight against the Guild of Raventail. Now Raventail is not there. It is very likely that they will go up to fight against. If Laxus said so, the fight would be intense. The third day of the Great Demon Fighting Martial Arts Show is about to begin. I believe everyone must want to see an exciting duel. Let our players take a 2-minute break and then we will start the first battle. Jabati said. Then he also took the opportunity to receive the duel list from the organizer. After seeing it, he was stunned for a moment, looking forward to today's duel in the combat department. Each team took a break. All the players were ready to fight. After a short break, the first duel today is between Miliana of Mermaid Heel and Simus of Quattro Cerberus. I hope they can bring us a wonderful duel. The game begins. Bang. The gong sounded. The two players on the field began to duel. At the beginning Miliana's binding magic had no advantage, and after many duels, she was lifeless. But soon, she strengthened the restraint and successfully tied up the opponent's rotating body with strong pulling force. Beep beep beep. As the whistle blew, Miliana won 10 points in the duel, contributing to the guild. Next is the second game of the combat part, Jabati announced hurriedly. Advertisement, Rufus, the bard under the red moon of the Blade-Bite Tiger vs Ibrahimovic, the eve of the Holy Night of Blue Pegasus. This will be a duel between handsome men, judging from the cheers at the scene. Both players have a lot of supporters. The female audience at the scene cheered wildly. No matter Rufus or Ibrahimovic, please give me flowers. These two players are very handsome and have many female fans all over the country. They are not afraid of each other's shouting. They compete with each other to see who has the loudest voice. Although their looks are comparable, their fighting power is a bit different. Ibrahimovic uses snow magic, and Rufus uses the fire magic in his memory to easily get rid of his opponent. The game is over. Although Ibrahimovic faces an opponent like Rufus, he still fights hard but still loses. The winner is Rufus of the Blade-Bite Tiger. It's really fishy. The second game has also ended. The audience cheered continuously, and the first two games were very exciting. I hope to see better games. There are only Lamia Scale, Angel Wings and our two teams left. Makarov in the audience thought, I'm afraid that only Lamia Scale is easier to deal with. I really don't want to run into those perverts of Angel Wings. I just hope there won't be a civil war. Macau smoked deeply. What he feared most was a civil war. There was a chance of victory against the outside team. There was no point in a civil war. The other guild members all had bitter faces, and the current team distribution situation. The possibility of a civil war is very high. It seems that Fairy Tail is likely to have a civil war. Wu Ming seemed to be smiling, according to the probability. The possibility of a civil war is very high, but I don't know who will face whom. When I saw the third game in my hand, the only word in my mind was impossible. Jabati introduced to the audience. Hearing this, the audience was very curious about what kind of team would make him think so. And Makarov and his friends. The mood suddenly sank to the bottom. The next third game will be played by. Jabati took a deep breath. Let all the audience's hearts hang in the air. They really want to know. Juvia of Fairy Tail Team B. Fairy Tail Guild appears. Sure enough, it's their turn to fight others. So who is the opponent? Team B. Juvia couldn't help but feel a knot in her heart when she heard the name. It's not good for us now. Gajeel worried. Whether it's a civil war or a fight against Angel Wings, they are likely to lose. There is only a 30% chance of fighting against Lamia Scale. But is it really possible? fight against Lasana of Fairy Tail A-Team. Jabati declared. Chapter 141, Future Lucy appears. It's over. Makarov's face turned pale. This is what he feared the most. It's going to be a civil war. Although we have two teams, we have an advantage, but it also increases the possibility of a civil war. Macao's face was full of sorrow. This duel is not much better than against Angel Wings. Civil war. No matter who wins, their guild will suffer. How can we play this? There's no fun, because no matter who wins, it's not good. In fact, you can see it just by looking at it. Lisana's chance of winning is very small. Just play casually, the members all complained. The teams in the Civil War are very interesting to the audience, but a little ugly to them. Especially when they fight each other. Who should we support? Fairy Tail Guild Civil War. Ha ha ha, I just don't know if they will let you down. Don't admit defeat in the 100 game. It's funny. What's so good about seeing their own people fighting each other? They won't fight seriously. The audience just wanted to watch the fun. They just wanted to see this kind of situation. Of course, some people think this pairing is too boring, because the internal war between the same people will definitely not be a good cause. The viewing value is almost zero. Everyone has their own opinion. Team A Natsu shouted, "Come on, Lasana, beat up the people in Team B." Gray sighed deeply, "Do what you can, anyway, you all take it easy." Lucy covered her forehead and shook her head and said, "We are ahead in points, so it should be no problem for us to win." Elfman. "Come on Lasana," several members cheered. Civil war doesn't matter, they are all companions anyway, Gray and others don't care much. Especially the opponent is Juvia. If Gray cheers for Lasana, Juvia will definitely think he is a love rival. If they start fighting, it will be very fierce. This is obviously not the scene he wants to see, so he can only let her fight casually. Moreover, even if she gets serious, the possibility of Lisa defeating Juvia is very small. On the other side, Team B Gajeel was unhappy. "Why don't you let me fight that guy, Fire Dragon? I don't like him anymore." Laxus was speechless. "We are all family members, even if we meet, do you really plan to show your real skills?" Mira Jane held her face. Lasana should not be able to beat Juvia. Mistogan remained silent. Advertisement. In fact, you don't need to think about who will win this battle. But they are all companions. It shouldn't be too intense, it's better to end it quickly. Civil war. In the audience seats, Wu Ming sighed. So, Wen Nan should still be the opponent of Sherry in this round? It doesn't seem to be very interesting. Wendy is definitely stronger than Sherry, so there won't be much to watch in the fight, right? It's a pity that we can't meet the Fairy Tail team, Irene shrugged. The configuration of their team. Only the members of the Fairy Tail Guild can deal with it. Other teams are too weak. In the future, Lucy. I wonder if she will come again. Wu Ming collected his thoughts. There were no surprises in the game, but he was more concerned about whether Lucy would appear in the future. You know, now it is very different from the original work, if she appears again. That would be very interesting, the competition field. Juvia and Lasana began to fight. The former used water magic. The latter received animal souls. Both sides practiced on Tinlong Island for 7 years. But water magic should be stronger. After a few rounds of fighting, there was a clear difference. The destructive power of their magic was not too strong. The arena was not damaged much when they fought, but surprisingly. Although Lasana was weaker, she could rely on the various animals she received. The game was delayed until the end. Huang, time is up, Jabati announced. This round of battle is a draw. Bang. The whole audience was in an uproar. This result was obviously very unexpected. Many times I thought Team A would be defeated. But they always stand up at the critical moment. The countdown is over. Both sides got 5 points each, and this round is a draw. This result, the audience is still relatively acceptable. Both of them fought fiercely in the battle. They didn't hold back too much. What, there is no victory, huh? Gajeel was unhappy. Advertisement, but he was just talking about it, and actually knew that such a draw was the best. Juvia has tried very hard. Mirajane smiled. She was very happy and didn't deliberately hurt her companions because of the civil war. Okay, let's watch the next game. Laxus stopped them from talking anymore. Looking at the last game, after the whole audience applauded and cheered, they locked on the last team. Lamia scale. This last round may be difficult to play. Leon's face was full of depression. If he played against the Fairy Tail team, he might win. But against Angel Wing? To be honest, he didn't think he had a chance to win. Those guys were all perverts. Perverts in every aspect. It's not that it's difficult to play, but I'm sure I can't win. Jura's mouth twitched. Even August was not easy to deal with the players of Angel Wing. Not to mention the others, he couldn't beat them 7 years ago, let alone today, 7 years later. No matter who plays, they will lose. Next is the 4th game, which is also the last game of the day, Pumpkin. Pumpkinhead announced. Jabati announced the opponents of both sides, Wendy of Angel Wing versus Lamia Scale Sherry, 2 petite girls. They will bring us the final feast. Jabati introduced. Both players walked out of the passage and headed westwards towards the center. Plop. It seemed as if they had agreed. They fell to the ground at the same time, place and posture. Laughter. The audience was amused by the situation. Is this kid capable? Carla sighed. falling on the ground still happens today. There was no arc in the first place. If she falls again, she will be gone. The breath of Sherry. Mavis touched her chin. She felt that the little girl seemed very strange in terms of information. God-killing magic, right? Wu Ming sighed. At this time, he noticed that across from the audience in the arena, a woman in a cloak was looking at this side. Yo, Wu Ming raised his eyebrows and smiled. He pointed at the corner of his eyebrows and gestured to the other party. On the other side, the cloaked woman obviously saw this look. Her body trembled slightly. She noticed the situation here and found that the other party was greeting her. She lowered her head and clenched her fists. She turned around and walked outside, obviously unable to accept this fact. What are you looking at? Irene followed his gaze and saw a cloaked man hurriedly leaving the village. Celine was also quite curious. Touching her chin, she looked left and right. A very interesting girl. Her appearance made me guess a certain possibility. Wu Ming did not explain too much. He was going to go and chat with the cloaked woman in the evening after the game. Chapter 142. Wendy vs. Sherry, Dragon Slayer vs. God Slayer. Inside the arena, two lawless, who were almost the same height, crawled up from the ground and smiled at each other. At this moment, they both felt that they had found a confidant. I heard from Leon that the people of Angel Wings are very powerful, so I have to be extremely careful. So I have to try my best. Here I come, Sherry said, rushing towards the other side with bare hands. Actually, I'm not very good at it. Wendy smiled shyly. Seeing Sherry rushing to her, she also gathered her strength and punched. Bang! The two small fists collided. Instantly, the aftermath blew a gust of wind, sweeping towards the audience around, blowing the wind in their faces. Hey, Sherry was not surprised. No one retreated in the punching, and she hurriedly changed her moves. The other hand was clenched. The black wind enveloped the fist, and a clever uppercut hit Wendy's chin. Seeing the black wind, Wendy was stunned and immediately tilted her head back. The black wind almost brushed her chin, the hook of the sky. Good opportunity. Sherry was in a stiff state of attack, and she quickly wrapped the wind around her feet. Using the inertia of tilting her head back, kicked and flipped. Snap! With a crisp collision, Wendy felt that her foot had hit the opponent. On the opposite side, 25 Sherry was hit in the chin. Her body flew backwards, and her chin was in burning pain, making her squint. But she reacted quickly. After knowing that she was hit, she quickly controlled her body in the air. She turned twice and landed on her feet. At the moment of landing, she stepped hard with her feet, and the ground was crushed with a bang. Her figure rushed up faster. When Wendy stood firm after a backflip, Shuiru had already arrived in front of her. God's Dance. Arrived in front of Wendy. The god-killing magic was used to create a vertical black tornado on the ground. It wrapped Wendy's body and hit it into the sky. Wendy didn't expect the other party to react so quickly and seized the opportunity to quickly approach. After being forced to take a hit, her body was hit into the sky and she shouted fiercely. The wind blade burst out. It instantly tore the black tornado apart, and her body changed its posture directly in the air. Her cheeks bulged, and a stronger breath was brewing in her mouth. Sherry thought she could cause damage to the other party. Now it seems that she can't, although she was on the bottom. But seeing Wendy was about to release the breath, she also hurriedly took a deep breath and puffed up her cheeks. The roar of the dragon, the roar of God, boom. Black and light blue tornadoes came out of their mouths. They collided in midair. Whoosh whoosh, a stronger storm broke out, and the ground of the arena broke inch by inch. The two collided. The strong wind blew and swept across the entire brow arena. The wig on Jabati's head was blown off. Many girls wearing skirts had their skirts blown up by this wind. They cried out and clamped their legs to press down the hem of their skirts. So powerful. They both used the same type of magic. So powerful, these two little guys fought more fiercely than the last two. Advertisement. It's so beautiful. I'm talking about the battle, not the girls' style under the skirts. Although the audience was blown so hard that they couldn't open their eyes. But one or two of them blushed and exclaimed excitedly. This is the kind of battle they love the most. Hey, Sherry is also using lost magic. Gray covered his mouth and nose. During the 7 years on Tenro Island, they didn't practice all the time. Sometimes they also learned magic knowledge. For various types of magic, they didn't know all of them, but they knew a lot. Naturally, they knew the type of magic Sherry used. Same as that Zancro guy, called the Magic Visitor. Natsu also recalled. He only remembered that he had encountered similar magic on Tenro Island. 7 years ago, he was embarrassed by the same magic, if he hadn't found another way later. Maybe he would have been defeated. Lost magic, god-destroying magic. Lucy is also a smart person. She remembered that this magic belonged to lost magic and came back to her senses. Yes. Elfman nodded vigorously. They were not the only ones who were shocked. Many people were also surprised by Sherry's strength. But some people found it boring. Really? How long is Wendy going to play? She can obviously defeat the opponent in 2 or 3 moves. Carla Sunere muttered. She knew how strong Wendy was, but now she is in a difficult battle. This shouldn't happen at all. It's not easy to meet an opponent, let her play for a while. Uru replied. Yukino next to him was silent. From the current point of view, the players of Angel Wings seem to be very strong. Even facing a difficult opponent like Sherry, they can easily solve it. If she plays, I'm afraid she will be solved faster. They are really a group of powerful guys. Without using the power of dragon. Without using additional skills. They are also very restrained when they start to fight. Irene said with a smile. Wendy has a lot of trump cards. At present, it seems that she has used 1 or 2 points of experience. It should be enough to play for a while. Wu Ming shrugged. Wendy is such a sensible child, she will not drag it until the countdown ends. According to the current progress, if she moves her body again, she should be able to completely defeat the opponent. In the arena. After the roaring collision, both of them grabbed the wind and blasted against each other. The bang 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 sound became louder and louder. Their strength rose steadily, and it had reached the point where a single jump could shatter a piece of the ground. It's really amazing, I have to recover my body. After another collision. Then the reaction force, Sherry quickly distanced herself from each other. She smiled a little tiredly, then she took a deep breath and swallowed all the air into her stomach. Eat air. Wendy laughed twice. She didn't consume much and she didn't need to eat air to recover for the time being. White light appeared on Sherry. The wounds on her body recovered visibly and soon they were intact. Oh, you can recover by yourself. Wendy cleverly discovered this situation. God-killing magic can recover itself, which is a feature that dragon-killing magic does not have. Well, come again. Sherry affirmed her words. Then he rushed up again and tangled with Wendy again. It looks like I'm going to use the strongest magic. They collided several more times. Sherry realized that ordinary attacks could no longer cause trouble to the opponent and decided to use the strongest attack. Okay. Wendy nodded vigorously. Advertisement wind appeared around her body, holding her body in the air. She reached out and grabbed. A blue magic wand appeared in her hand. Then I will fight you head on, Wendy said. The magic wand in her hand shone brightly. The secret of destroying the gods. A large amount of black wind condensed on Sherry's hands because of her. The magic power surged into the sky. The strange smell, 913. And the magic power that was easily felt were enough to show how powerful this move would be. Sky's karma cloud. The hands merged into one, forming a huge black and purple tornado. Shoot towards Wendy in the air. High-level additional technique earth collapse. In the air. Wendy looked at the oncoming ultimate skill. She didn't dodge at all. She held the magic wand in both hands and aimed at the tornado and the ground. Buzz. A blue magic circle appeared in the sky. It enveloped the entire arena and with Wendy's order. Brilliant light. Everyone's eyes turned into a white light. Nothing could be seen. Boom boom. Continuous rumbling sounds came from the earth, and everyone could feel the shaking of the ground. The rumbling explosion sound came from deeper underground. The rumbling sound lasted for 2 seconds. When everyone opened their eyes, the scene in front of them made them gasp. They saw that the original arena ground had disappeared. Instead, there was a bottomless pit, only floating in the air. Wendy holding the magic wand, and her opponent had disappeared. Sherry, the members of Lamia Scale exclaimed. But there was no response at all, only the echo of lost voice. It's okay. It seemed that she knew that many people misunderstood. Wendy was busy reminding. The magic wand shook gently, and a fainted body floated up from the ground. I declare that Angel Wings wins, Pumpkinhead confirmed the situation. After confirming that the other party was unconscious, he also raised his hand to announce the result of the game. Wow. The applause was higher and higher. The audience applauded with all their heart and soul, even if their palms were red. They didn't stop. Chapter 143. The future Lucy is confused, planning, a dance of dragons. The third day of competition ended. All the audience left in an orderly manner under the auspices of the organizer. So far, the scores are as follows. First place, Angel Wings 41 points. Second place, Fairy Tale Team A 36 points. Third place, Mermaid Heel 33 points. Fourth place, Fairy Tale Team B 31 points. Fifth place, Sword-Bite Tiger 31 points. Sixth place, Quattro Cerberus 21 points. Seventh place, Blue Pegasus 15 points. Eighth place, Lamia Scale 14 points, after getting 10 points again. Angel Wings came to the first place, although the difference in points with the second place was not much. But after the fourth day of competition, this score will really widen the gap. However, before the team battle, the possibility of the last 3 catching up is almost zero. It can be seen from the current score. The only strong teams competing for the first place are the top 5, and there are only a few days left before the team battle. The game is over. Several players went back to rest, while Wu Ming took Irene to stroll around the city. Although he also called a few others, however, Uru was playing with his goddaughter Yukino and had no time to accompany him. Celine and Mavis were also busy. There was no way. Wu Ming could only spend time alone with Irene. Who was that interesting girl you mentioned before? Women always like to hold on to something and never forget it. Because in the arena, Wu Ming did not make it clear about the interesting woman, causing Irene to find out by all means. Let's go find her directly. Wu Ming smiled and took her hand. Tracking the breath, walking around the city, finally found the target when the moon rose. wearing a cloak and slippers on his feet. Who are you? It seems that he knows that he is being followed. Without waiting for Wu Ming to ask, he took the initiative to ask about his identity. A gust of wind blew by. Blow opened the hood of the cloaked man, revealing a familiar face inside. Hey, this is not Lucy from the Fairy Tale Guild. How come she is not right? Irene was surprised at first. Just as she was about to speak, she suddenly realized that something was wrong. Appearing in the arena, advertisement, but Lucy was clearly in the waiting area. How could she suddenly appear in the audience? Who are you? What are angel wings? Why don't they exist in my memory? Fear was hidden in the voice of the future Lucy. She just felt strange. What do you mean by non-existence? Our angel wings existed 400 years ago. Irene didn't understand. Their angel wings are so famous, how could they suddenly disappear? What is this Lucy talking about? Tell me what it should be like in your memory, the grand magic fighting in the guild, etc. Wu Ming asked. He had to make sure that Lucy's past really didn't exist. Or was there something else wrong? Urza is an orphan who escaped from the Tower of Heaven and joined the Fairy Tale Guild. Gray and Leon's master died when they were young. Ultir is Jalal's subordinate and also one of the 7 followers of Demon Heart. Wendy was brought to our guild by Urza because of the Nirvana incident and is now a member of ours. Mistogen went back to the S-Death world and became the new king. The first generation Mavis died a long time ago. Angel Wings does not exist at all. We were sealed in Tenro Island, and 7 years had passed when we woke up again. Our team has been losing all the time. Future Lucy became more and more excited. It seemed that because of too much fear, her body was shaking constantly. Like a child abandoned by the world, Irene was silent. She probably understood that in this Lucy's memory, the Angel Wings organization did not exist. The subsequent experiences of Urza, Wendy and others were completely different. But she didn't understand. She could only hope that her man could explain it to her. Assuming I died in the wild 400 years ago, the neighboring country should have sent Langu to marry for the sake of peace between humans. You were pregnant with Urza before you turned into a dragon, and after you turned into a dragon, Langu should have killed you out of fear of Acnologia. At the moment of life and death, you will turn into a dragon, fly away from the kingdom and hide. In order to become a human, you may use additional abilities to try to take Urza's life. Then out of maternal love, give up this plan, then abandon the child, and then be captured. Wu Ming explained. It seems that the memory of future Lucy is the same as in the plot. Because he started to intervene in 400 years, many things did not happen again. That's right. If you didn't help, I would definitely try my best to turn back into a human. Irene drooped her eyelids. According to Wu Ming's inference, although she didn't dare to say that she would do this 100%. But it is still possible. If so, advertisement. The daughter must be an orphan, and the angel wings must not exist. Mavis was killed by the curse again. Uru will also die when sealing the devil, and will not be rescued when returning to Rudia. This makes sense. What are you talking about? Future Lucy was confused. Why did it come up with 400 years ago? She didn't know about such a long time ago. She came from the future, and her purpose should be to rescue her companions, right? Wu Ming introduced. Irene was surprised. Lucy in the future, so she came through the Eclipse Gate? Irene knew a lot. Except for Wu Ming, who has cultivated time and space to the extreme, the only way to travel through time and space is through props. And the known prop is the Eclipse Gate, and the Eclipse Gate requires the key of the Celestial Spirit Wizard to open. Which also fits Lucy's identity. That's not right. There is no angel wings in the future. Doesn't it mean that we will all die? Irene's head was a little confused. In the world today, who else can destroy the angel wings and erase their traces? Bold guess. About parallel worlds. Wu Ming narrowed his eyes. This world must be real, so Lucy in the future should know their existence at least. Since she has no memory, then there is only one possibility. Suppose the world where Lucy is in the future is another world without angel wings, then everything makes sense. As for why she came to this world, it should be a problem of spatial confusion. Wu Ming explained. In fact, there is a better way, that is to teleport across space. Then I must have come to the wrong place, everyone. Lucy understood something. She also realized that she was doing useless work, no matter how much this world was modified. Her future would not change. Parallel worlds should be able to interfere with each other. When the things you were worried about happen, you will know when you go back. You can rest assured. If Natsu and others in this world are not dead, your future will not change. Then I will help you. I can use you as the coordinate and teleport to your world to save you. Wu Ming assured her. Unless it is absolutely necessary, she does not want to interfere with the changes in the world. He still agrees with the idea of parallel world. If the world of Lucy in the future is the world of the original work, he is still very relieved, because there are no time travelers like him to mess up. It will definitely develop very well. So, I hope you don't talk nonsense, because in this world I may become an enemy of the Fairy Tale Guild. If you tell me in advance, I can only kill them all. Wu Ming reminded her. Future Lucy trembled, thinking about the results of her investigation. Even if Fairy Tale practiced for 7 years, I'm afraid they can't beat them, so I had to compromise with Grievance. You act according to your own ideas. Anyway, although we exist, there is still a guy from the future, trying to destroy the world. What? Future Lucy was stunned. There are actually guys from the future. What's going on? What's wrong with this world? That's it, got it. Wu Ming didn't bother her anymore, waved his hand and took Irene away. Prepare to start planning, dancing with a group of dragons.